us. That's ours now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
Sometimes they're like, oh, they made a thing about our IP. It's ours now. So like,
Turns out Walt Disney invented that on a train, actually. Hey, the Vince, thanks for watching live for the first time. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good time. If you don't have a good time, you better watch anyways.
All right, let's do the
hit that
final prep.
dislike button.
Jeff, I was so close to beating Resident Evil.
Oh man.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he better be. I might just jump back in after the show, try to finish it up.
Yeah, there you go.
Pop the call.
Leave Jeff alone here again, like Tuesday. I see what
Tuesday,
you did.
I know, I do feel bad, but I hate not beating a game when I'm close to beating it.
I was thinking like when they say Biohazard, some people it's like Biohazard is a better name. Like no, you're not. No, it's not.
Yeah,
Resident Evil is a better name.
Yeah, that's just bananas. Like, there's some of it, like...
I like Biohazard. It's not Resident Evil.
I don't even like it. It's just a word. It's stupid.
I like it when they say it like a
Biohazard.
Like that movie
it's
Plane.
Like, it sounds cool.
Like Plane. Bio. Yeah.
I like it when they did like, oh, it's called Resident Evil calling Biohazard, and then the other one is like, oh, it's called Biohazard calling Resident Evil. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah,
I liked that as well.
Yeah, I like that just because I felt happy that Japan got to call it Resident Evil for once.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, just, no beer today, Ridge 8-bit. This is a Scotch.
Ooh.
Sweeter one. Normally I go for a smoky, but...
Don't they have a smaller cup for you? Why is that? The top of that cup is like small.
Yeah, it's yeah. This is the cup for Scotch.
Is that a cup for Scotch for you? I didn't know.
Sure is. I almost made myself an old fashioned actually. This is very nice. Yeah, it's called a. Gosh, now you've blindsided me so much. I can't even think of the name now. A dram. It's a dram.
It's a dram. Check out my dram.
Quit showing everybody your dram. All right.
I'll show them.
You guys heard that music, right?
Yes.
Sir.
Chat's hearing it. I'm gonna turn it up some. All right, and then what else do I need? I want to put this up there, and then we'll get started, everybody. We are mere moments away. Ba-da-dum-bum-bum. Ba-da-dum-dum. Da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum.
Say, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Stop that!
I can't stop it. It's the power of MIDI.
Why are you just playing the final countdown?
All right, there we go. Let's it's the Mario Paint version. It's perfectly legal.
Great.
Okay, and then finally,
Until
Was it Star Fox for a second there at the end?
yeah, a little bit. It did sound like
Okay,
that.
just making sure I didn't hear things.
Yeah, I could post a link in chat. Let's do that. There you go. Okay. All right. I think we are. I think we're ready.
Sure.
It's ready as ever, brother.
I gotta open up. Guys, thumbs up, super chats, all the stuff.
Yeah.
You know what you can do. We got
Give
one
us money.
chat in, thank you. Thumbs up are good.
Well, give them money. I don't say. Well, I don't know why I'm saying give us money.
I give a...
I don't get shack shit.
Favorite pizza joint. We got some very good local ones. Which the Elmton Strellers is fantastic. We also have Bellaria here, which is very good. Man, I'm in the mood for Detroit style pizza. I wish I could actually get Jets.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy that we moved to a place that has Jets nearby. I lived in Michigan, never lived near a Jets because they were still growing back then when I was a kid. And then moved to Ohio, there's no Jets. Then moved to Colorado, and we had the first Jets in Colorado, and now we got the Jets here. It's real good.
You have to take me.
Yes, we will. Let's do it. Okay.
Hey, no, 8-bit. I don't. Wedgwood's so overrated. I'm glad we agree. I don't understand what people get so freaked out about Wedgwood for.
All right, I'm bringing this up here. I'm doing that there. Okay, Mike, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's
right.
let's do this. Let's get started. Okay, 5, 4, 3. That's way too low. Hang on, sorry, but let me try that again. I didn't turn up the music. One more
I thought
time.
it was just low on my end. It's because their other thing was loud.
Yeah,
They tried to be cute and tried to play a shitty version of Final Countdown.
It was actually a superior version. That's very, very good. 5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, it's 2023 now, so let's look ahead and pick some hot mess and king shit. But first, Mike, how are you doing?
I'm good. I got my McDuck Family Tree shirt on that I picked up in Disney
Looking good.
World. Yes, I know, but thank you. It's nice to hear it. Got a dram, some scotchy scotch. Was playing some Resident Evil. Things are pretty good. Getting close to that weekend. I got no major complaints, except that I have things I should do and I haven't been doing. Like I definitely need to do some laundry. I really need to get my Christmas tree down.
Same.
So, and I'm like, I could do those things, but I kind of don't.
I mean, in your defense, you've been pretty sick, right?
No, I feel great.
Oh, then what the fuck is wrong with you? God.
Nothing. Been mostly just playing a lot of Resident Evil and watching wrestling. That's it.
That's
Scotch.
That's pretty sick. And then you're drinking scotch. Yeah, I have been sick, and so I haven't been doing those things. I got a pile of other things I need to do as well, but I don't know. It's a 3-day weekend though. I got a 3-day weekend, so I'll be off on Monday.
Oh, right. I assume I do. I guess I should check.
I mean, you know what? You're the boss. Just decide it is.
Yeah, I guess I'll just decide when films don't show up.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of just taking another long weekend to finally get over being sick. I am mostly feeling better, and now it's just this lingering cough in my voice a little bit. But otherwise, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go. I got especially compared to where I was, where I just wanted to sleep. I'm I could stream and play video games and do all kinds of stuff. I played Bubsy 3D today on GiantBomb.com. That was fun. So
I gotta see that. You gotta be close to beating. Well, you guys had a few weeks off there for different circumstances, but still,
quite some time off. Yeah.
Can Bubsy 3D?
It's not very long. I'll probably beat it next time. Although I had 2 levels in a row that I just could not figure out. They were very bad and difficult.
You guys are beating a lot of games. I was kind of sad that Bacalar didn't enjoy his trip back to
it was not. It's just not an ideal environment, right? Once a week for an hour and a half. That's just not going to do it.
I guess I wonder if it's that. I mean, there are a lot of people who just you go back to older games and it's a mess. For some reason, I'm much more immune to the oddness of those things. Even it. It is objectively an annoying design, the way you have to put together spells in that game and use them. And I'm kind of this is quaint. This reminds me of my childhood. And I like it, but maybe I have the problem.
I think I like a lot of that stuff. I suppose I'm probably glad that he played it though, and I didn't, so I could still be I think I like this game still. You have to really dive into that stuff though, and the format that we chose, we just were goofing off way too much to give him the room to be I want to enjoy this spell system. It was just we were being too impatient for him to actually do that. So oh well.
Wow. So what you're saying is it's your fault.
Yeah. I'd rather it be my fault than Eternal Darkness not be as good. That seems fair. I'd rather that be the case. Enough. All right, let's get on with this show. But first, I want to thank you for joining us. You can get more from Mike and me at the Discord by joining us at GameMess.net. If you want to ask a question, you could drop a super chat during the show, just like Devenster just did. We will read all of those super chats before the end of the episode. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. We are on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, wherever pods are caught. Give us a good rating. It helps people find the show. Hit that thumbs up here on YouTube. It really helps while we're live. Thank you to our mods. You can support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess or right here on the YouTube channel, hitting that join button. If you do that, it gets you access to the private channels in the Discord, access to the monthly Q&A, 1 month early access to our live Jeopardy games, which you can, of course, watch for an entire month before anyone else can, and participation in our monthly game club game podcast. It's a discussion, but it's actually a podcast, and you can get on there and talk, and it's a pretty cool time. Mike hosts those, and yeah, it's cool stuff. But yeah, you become a podcast producer, hop in the channel, and you can have pretty much direct access. We're in there all the time, so feel free to join there. Again, people have been joining, and continues to mean so much that people are wanting to support what we're doing over here. Like you get a lot of Jeff Grubb and Mike Minotti content for free. So the fact that people are like willing to put up a little bit of cash each month to help ensure that it's worth our time and effort, it means a lot to me. So
Give me money.
Yeah, that's the way Mike says it. So he means it the same thing that I'm saying, though, for sure. All right, Mike, I got a couple, and I mean 2 big topics I wanted to talk about, and then we'll get to this week's decisions to be made. First here, Ubisoft is Ubisoft falling apart, I guess, Mike.
Yes.
What?
Decided.
Yes. Hey, all right, moving on. What is going on over there?
I think what's going on is that, some of what they're saying is true. They're complaining like, oh, everything's moving to these mega franchises. And they have kind of big franchises,
yeah,
but not big enough like a Call of Duty that it really can't just almost sort of support everything. They have this problem where, you can, Far Cry is a big franchise. You release Far Cry 6 and, maybe it does well, even if reviews aren't good. That's, not enough to make up for all these other weird things happening, like Beyond Good and Evil 2 and A Skull and Bones being in development forever, having a lot of misses like Extraction. I don't think Roller Derby did much. And even having games that should have done better, like Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, underperforming. It's a lot of stuff that Activision Blizzard was kind of talking about, or you were just talking about them, why they wanted to sell. It's kind of scary out there. Just a couple things go wrong, you're going to be really in the shit. And, I think a lot of people kind of lost faith in Ubisoft. Ubisoft's not a good company that you can feel good about these days.
Not
right?
At all. Yes, absolutely.
That goes for, the people who, the consumers, the fans, probably the people who work there. They had a lot of negative press. There's a lot of staleness there. They had that issue where a lot of their games, even at different franchises, kind of felt the same for a while. Just a lot of bad news in general with them, things getting delayed or canceled. It's just been a rough time for the company the last couple of years. And what's the way out? What's the way out? Is it, well, we got to get Assassin's Creed Infinity, and once we have that live service going, maybe that'll be enough? I don't know. That's a weird, risky thing that they're doing there. And in the process, it might sacrifice the one actual, milk-producing cow that they still have, right? So it's scary times over there. There's a lot to digest with all of this.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think in my head we can go off in a million tangents here because you're right. There's a lot to digest. What are the most important component parts here? It continues to be making video games is a really tough business. They're all very expensive. They're only getting more expensive, and in that reality, you can't just continue status quo. So Ubisoft was never going to be able to just keep being the Ubisoft of 10 years ago. They were going to have to change. They knew that. And as they've done so, they haven't replaced that growth that they were experiencing with some new growth. All they've seemingly done is kind of make people think they don't have a Ubisoft voice anymore that's worth paying attention to. They just sort of do either big carbon copies of the Ubisoft house style of game, and then some smaller stuff here and there that is weird, or they do a live service game that is basically a copy of another live service game that's already out there and isn't as good. You got, your Hyperscapes,
right?
A whole bunch of others. Like you got stuff that's trying to be like Rocket League. They do have some swings with Riders Republic, I suppose, but it's like, man, that that was probably never going to be something major. At least it just feels like you look at that, like, is that going to be the thing? I don't think that's going to be the thing, but I guess I don't really know. It's hard to predict. That's the problem, though. That's the other base thing here. It is, like you said, what is the solution? There is no obvious, well, if they just do that, they're going to be fine. No, they gotta pull some magic out of a hat, and that's real tough in this hit-driven business. I mean, if we're like just pointing to the problems, obviously it is they don't make enough money from the games they're making as games get more expensive. I mean, that's just, like Chris Dreen was pointing out on Twitter. It's like, hey, they don't have a lot of big live service game that makes a lot of money. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, everyone wants a big game. They've tried, and everyone wants that game. Like, that is blatantly obvious that is the big problem. And like one of the solutions are, okay, we'll make that game, duh, or go ahead and try a bunch of different things, try a bunch of different news strategies to make something that is successful that no one else is doing, or you sell or you merge with someone else. And they definitely sniffed around that. They had those conversations a little bit. I can only say so much about that. I keep trying to talk around this a little bit, but the things I've heard is they were mostly laughed out of the room because they are just gigantic. They're enormous, and nobody wants to take on all that risk of this.
So many satellite studios, like so many different studios. Branches,
and it's like they are going to have to do. Maybe there was that would have made more sense a year and a half ago. Someone could have been like, I guess we'll do this. Maybe Ubisoft will bring them on, and then are we going to be the bad guys, and we're going to lay off a bunch of people after that? I mean, and then at that point, it's like, is that still even Ubisoft? Because Ubisoft. The whole thing that makes Ubisoft is that's how they make games. They have all those studios and they work really well together. No, we might have to just keep them on and make this make sense. And then at that point, it's like, well, then this deal doesn't actually make sense. And so they get laughed out of the room. Like, no, you're too unwieldy. You're way too big. And so it's not like even like Tencent's going to come along and buy them. Now, they might as they do these cost reductions. Ubisoft's looking at $200 million of cost reductions over the next couple of years. That will probably help in terms of mergers and acquisitions, but Mike, that's not going to help in terms of making really good big games and making a variety of games going forward, right? They are going to have to tighten the belt, and they have. They've canceled now 7 games in the last 6 months. It seems rough over there.
And it's not like they didn't see this coming. They tried with things like Hyperscape, and they have projects like X Defiant still coming, I guess. Don't forget, they were one of the first ones to talk about NFTs and to actually put them in the game because they were like, well, I don't know.
They were also pretty bad at that, too. Do you remember what their NFT thing was?
Yeah, it was like the keychain for a gun or something stupid.
Like a serial number on a keychain that no one in the game could actually see unless you had like an 8K monitor that was gigantic or something.
Right, to be clear, the execution is also misleading. But even when it's not, like you make a new Mario Rabbids game and it's good, and then it's like, well, what went wrong there? And this is kind of like specific. I don't think there's any one thing. One, look, you got away with forcing Rabbids into a Mario game once, and people were interested enough early on the Switch cycle. People really don't like the Rabbids. They just don't. And like making a Rabbids OC Poochie character and having them be front and center was rough. It also came out at a time when the Switch was getting a lot of RPGs from Nintendo. It came out in between Xenoblade and Pokemon, and you heard me complaining like I can't start any new Switch games because I've been playing Xenoblade for the last 4 months because it's 80 hours long, right? So even though everyone played that game and they're like, yeah, this is good, but no one was even as they were giving it 8s and 9s, there wasn't a lot of enthusiasm about it, huh?
I mean, the 8s and 9s were like, hey, this is once again surprisingly good, but it wasn't like it's so good that you should ignore the aesthetic yet again. Like we know no one really. I mean, it's hard. Like the game comes out, the first one, and does pretty well. I get how at Ubisoft they read those tea leaves to be like, well, clearly we were right, everyone was wrong. People do like the Rabbids, and it's just like that was never the message we were sending. We were sending the message that it is pretty cool and a bit funny that you guys did this, and yet somehow it's a worthwhile game, and we are willing to do that once. And we just, I think you're right. That's like I don't mind the Rabbids so much, but I do not find them very appealing at all, really. And it's like, and that's the exact opposite of how I feel about Mario stuff. And it's like, oh, and this game seemed like it was leaning more towards the Rabbids stuff than the Mario stuff. And of course, it's a Ubisoft game, So that is what they did.
They want to get their shit in. I get it. Like, that's their property. If they're going to make a game like, well, we can do other things with the rabbits. We can expose the rabbits to so many more people. Well, they were exposed in more ways than one.
Yeah. And I think that they're in a situation with a lot of their stuff where, okay, I mean, it just, some stuff is off, or not everything's going to hit as hard as it possibly could, or things have to be delayed a million times, or things are just in development hell, like you said, or they do come out and the execution is there and some little factor is in play that keeps the game from performing. And it's, man, Ubisoft, I mean, I would say can't catch a break, but I think they're doing a lot of these things to themselves. And then on top of that, they are going to continue having trouble hiring people up because no one really wants to work for Ubisoft while Yves Guillemot continues to let people slide in terms of the toxic behavior there.
But he's such an inspiring leader,
yes.
Jeff. You know, he's not passing the buck or anything. He's that message that he said there. It's like, all right, you all need to like really come together and like be real good, or else I don't know. It's all up to you.
Yep.
Like, bitch, you're in charge.
Yes, a crazy
it's your
thing.
Company.
So what Mike's talking about is he sent an email out to people at Ubisoft saying the onus is on you to work harder to pull us out of this like nosedive. And it's just insane loser talk. I could not believe what I was reading, because it's the kind of thing that you say if you are a helpless sap. It like, he just feels like a goddamn rube stumbling through life, and he ended up in charge of a company. He's like, I don't know, you guys make the games, I just fucking cash the checks. And it's like he's basically saying exactly that to all these people. And I got a feeling if you're at that company right now, morale has got to be so low.
Right, you can't feel super good. All right, Jeff, I want to ask you about a few Ubisoft projects. What do you think's going on?
Yes, let's do that, and then we'll get out of here. Yeah.
Skull and Bones delayed again.
Yes, so
that game was supposed to come out last year. Jeff, there's been multiple times now where I've been supposed to like have preview events and stuff for this game.
That's right. Yes, that's right. Yes, people were going to go see this game, and then like the day before it got delayed, right?
Yeah, What this time really, how is it not just in a get that shit out there and move on position?
How is it not just dump it overboard? Like, just man overboard, throw it out there. Like, let's just whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. But so the game was supposed to come out this month or early next month. And it's not. It's now coming out in fiscal 23-24, and that's how Ubisoft, a European company reporting their earnings, say the next fiscal year, which begins in this April. So anytime from this April to next March, but probably still this calendar year. Still, though, that is wild. It's going to come out, I guess, because, I mean, if it's got to be close. It's got to be just one thing. It would be, I mean, I suppose they could do the thing where it's like we take it as a tax write-off, but then that might be a penalty with like the Singaporean government, so maybe they can't do that.
There's a lot of investment in that. Weird. Yeah. Okay. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Man, I don't think that's ever coming out. I mean, do we know if that game was canceled or not? I know Tom Henderson keeps saying that he's hearing stuff about that game, and I will continue saying that no matter what, if it's in development, it is not the game that, in no way, shape, or form, the game that they showed us the last time we saw it. But I mean, I don't think it ever comes out.
I don't know. It was so weird that the last couple of years they were acting more like it was a real game than ever.
Yes.
But some of that was when there was threats of a hostile takeover again, even. So who knows? But yeah, that's just such a weird one. I don't think it's so. The 4 games that were canceled, they said were unannounced games, so it couldn't have been Beyond Good and Evil 2, I guess.
That's right. Oh, that's fair.
New
that's
canceled
right.
games.
Okay. Yes.
But still, it's just it's so hard to imagine a world where that game comes out, and what the hell does that look like?
Yep.
We are so far removed from when that first Beyond Good and Evil came out. Even the people who like Beyond Good and Evil, like, do they like? I don't want to say they don't care, but I don't know if they're. I
don't want to see them be able to execute on, and I guess this is probably another game you would ask about, Prince of Persia. Like, execute on Prince of Persia. And then we can like see about maybe actually just going and doing a real sequel to Beyond Good and Evil 2, a game that is basically another Zelda-like that stars Jade, and like
that's all we want.
Yeah, just do that, and then I would be like, okay, maybe, and yes, And again, that's not in any way, shape, or form the game that you talked about before. So that game actually didn't ever come out. But whatever, I don't care at that point. That would be much better.
That game that they wanted to make was going to be, you can make any character you want based off of any animal you want. You're going to fly around spaceships, and it's going to have No Man's Sky style flying in and out of planets. You're going to assemble a crew, and it's going to have emergent storytelling and all this user-generated art. It was like, what are you talking? It would be like making the sequel to Yonoid and deciding to make it the most ambitious game in the world.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's going to go out there and he's going to use your stuff to make it's like, God. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's involved with this game that's never going to come out. What is happening? Like, it's just weird, wild stuff that they did there.
Especially when like that very first trailer they showed before they like stopped talking about it the first time. It was just like Jade and the pig. And they were like on the road. It's like, the next part of that story. I was like, okay. I don't know. That story is gonna get told someday. And I mean, Ansel's not even there anymore, and apparently he's problematic too.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, but what about Prince of Persia? I can't remember where we are with that one. It got canceled and restarted again.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. Like, did it get fully rebooted? I mean, I definitely think they wanted to like scrap most of the work they did so they could make something that feels more akin to an actual remake, or at least somewhere between a big boy remaster is how we say it around here. And
the big boy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. The thing that they had shown was barely even counted as a remaster. It looked rough. It looked bad, and it
looked bad, and it was like it showed so badly of just the judgment there. It's like, guys, this isn't good enough. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be mean to anybody, but this is Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Like, you should know how important it is. We know how important it is. And like, look out there. Like, look what's going on with Resident Evil 2 and all these remakes these days. You can't just come in. Like, you're Ubisoft. You're a big company. You can try to do something like that, right? Right?
And it's so I mean, then there's the two big ones, right? There's Avatar and Star Wars.
Right, and well, I mean, gosh, Star Wars, part of me is like, I don't know if that ever happens. That seems so far away right now. Avatar's supposed to be this year,
yes,
right?
Avatar is supposed to be this year. Avatar is, I think, another one that could easily get delayed, though. But you got a lot of pressure there to get out this year when the Avatar tide is high and the train is rolling and it's making a lot of money. I don't know. I'm hopeful, but also, like, it's a movie license game from Ubisoft. They've put out some okay ones in the past. They put out some real stinkers, just like every publisher. You would imagine that if they are putting this much effort into any kind of game, movie license or not, at this point, it better be worth my time. Like, that'd be wild to put out a game like that. That is just another sort of cash in, because that does not work anymore. And Ubisoft can't afford that. That would be just a completely bad move. So I don't know. I guess we will see more soon on that. But that Star Wars game, it's massive. It's what Massive is working on. Yeah. And Massive's like been one of their more reliable developers. But the for some reason, the Division, they just couldn't like get over the hump with the Division.
There's so many things like that were like decent hits, but didn't quite get over that hump. Like For Honor was like, oh, people really like that, but it couldn't quite be this big like live service breakout hit that was gonna be something they supported forever. And for some reason they never even like did a For Honor 2, right? Which I don't know, maybe that would have been worth trying. I mean, then there's like some franchises that start okay and then just never, they kind of fizzle out, like Watch Dogs. Like that was going places for a bit. Even franchises that were like really well liked, like Ghost Recon, that last one, people didn't like it, and now what's the state of that? There's just
I mean, that's honestly that was the one that kicked us all these problems, or like put them in the spotlight, right? That game came out, and then Ubisoft freaked out. It was like, oh my god, we're delaying everything, and we're gonna rethink every single game that we're making. It's like, oh man, it's that bad. And it's like, oh yeah, that of course it is. Every game has to hit for Ubisoft right now, or else the whole bottom line situation is gonna be in a devastating state. And now here we are. That happened. Like they foresaw it, and here we are. And it doesn't seem like they are gonna. It just is piling on top of them. They are not digging themselves out. So. Yeah,
it's just of all the big publishers in the world right now, and if you'd ask me like, what's one that you think may not be around in 10 years, right?
Yeah,
like Ubisoft is in such a precarious place right now.
Yeah, and it's the big, like the hidden thing here is that it could happen to any publisher. I think a lot of other publishers are maybe a bit more risk averse than even Ubisoft, And I guess that's helped them. And that right now they're probably like, listen, all those times we said no to all those crappy games, all those Star Wars games we canceled, this is why we did it. And it's like, man, that sucks that's like that you actually look smart right now doing all that shit. But that's the way games are. Big AAA games, they've been unsustainable for 15 years. Like, we knew we were going to get to this point with one of these big companies, and it's just, here we are. And the good news is tools, the democratization of development tools is getting to a point where really we're not going to need major publishers to get major games going forward, but it's going to be a pretty, it's going to be a spotty transition to be like, oh man, I kind of miss some of those. Like, I'll miss Assassin's Creed until we are getting an Assassin's Creed game from a team of 50 indie developers, I suppose, here in the next 5 to 10 years. So, yeah, I mean, not like Ubisoft is like 100% going to evaporate. All that stuff will live on one way or the other, but it's like the possibility is there, and we're seeing it. We're staring like right down the barrel of that gun. So, yeah.
All right, let's move on for now. I'm sure we'll get some super chats asking about some more Ubisoft stuff.
That Xbox showcase got confirmed, Mike. I was on Game S Mornings this week, and I was
Good
like,
job, Jez.
"Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Hey, could it be announced any day now?" And like, basically right after that, they announced it. So yes, Jez Corden nailed all of that stuff. They have 4 games confirmed for the show. 1 game confirmed to definitely not be there. That's Starfield. They mentioned Starfield will get a showcase of its own later. The games that will be there are Redfall, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and The Elder Scrolls Online. It's called the Developer Direct. It sounds like it's going to be hosted by the developers, and they're going to talk right at the camera, tell you about their games. Are you excited? Is this what you want from Microsoft right now?
I mean, I want new things to be announced, really, Jeff, is my problem. And they announced so many things early that may not happen for a bit. But, I want to see more from Redfall. I'm still skeptical about it. I know they're talking about how it's going to be like Far Cry 2-esque, and I don't believe them, but maybe it will be, but I'll find the Josh Whedon-esque quippiness and the kind of, I don't know what you call that aesthetic, horror comedy aesthetic, really not my thing. I might find that so not my style that I can't get into it anyways. We'll see.
That's fair.
I'll try to be a bit more open-minded about Redfall, but I just haven't been vibing.
I mean, it'll be on Game Pass. You'll have every opportunity to try it yourself. Sure. Like, yeah.
Excited for Forza. I've been enjoying racing games more, and I think I much rather would play a racing game with just racing tracks instead of another open world thing. I'm getting a little over that. Don't really care about the Minecraft thingy. Elder Scrolls Online is a good game. I just don't play it right now. I play other MMOs, so they always make new content for ESO, which is great for that. And of course they do, and they do a good job, but it's hard for me to be excited about that.
Yeah. For me, the temperature just got turned up so hot on Redfall in the last week after the recent round of interviews and stuff, where Arcane came out and explained exactly what the game is. It's not Left 4 Dead. It's their Far Cry. That's exactly what I was wanting to hear, or something like that is great. And they specifically mentioned Far Cry 2. It's a systems-driven game made by Arcane. Give me that. Now, I'm maybe with you a little bit on terms of like, okay, are they going to hit the tone? That's always risky, coming at it with a sort of loose tone that could be interpreted as missing the comedic beats that you're going for, and that's rough. Even
Deathloop had a little bit of a problem there, right?
Yeah, a little bit, and so it's a tough tone to pull off. They're going for it. At the very least, it's vampires. I think vampires can always be a little bit campy and fun. But we'll see. We'll see if they can pull it off. But in the meantime, though, it's like turned into one of my most anticipated games now, though, just based on like the way they're talking about it. We'll see if it can live up to that. But for now, I'm like, okay, yeah, show me more. Tell me more about this game.
They gotta have this, whatever the Starfield thing is, though. That has to happen soon. Like, that's gotta be a first half of the year game.
I mean, that's what they said last E3.
It's been a while. I mean, we can't really go. Like, it really can't just be Forza, Redfall, Starfield this year, which, to be clear, is much better than last year.
Sure.
But still, it's like, these are still all games that we've been kind of knowing and waiting for. And then it's like, what? All right, 2025, you can look forward to things like Perfect Dark and, some of this other stuff. I don't know.
I think that we, I'm like trying to figure it out, like Starfield. When does it come out? I think for a while now, I've been saying, I think that's our June game. I think it comes out like while we're at E3. I'm like, it's either that or it gets delayed until late 2023 because it's like it's going to be like the very last moment of that first half of the year. But I mean that means they can put out Elder Scrolls content here real soon. I'm not going to count that towards your big game per quarter. But then they can hit Forza, and I'm sure that counts. And Minecraft Legends
Forza counts.
Minecraft Legends maybe right there on the borderline for me a little bit, but sure, whatever.
It doesn't quite reach the borderline for me, but I don't know. Maybe it'll.
Yeah, I guess I need to see more from it. Is where I'm at. But then Redfall definitely counts. So it's like, okay, well, between Redfall and Forza, that's okay. One big game per quarter, and then if you come out with Starfield in June, that could either count as 2 for the second quarter or towards your next quarter because it's like that's right there at where summer begins. So that would be fine. And then you just need one more big game to kind of maintain that pace, and I think that's okay. That's pretty good, especially compared to last year for grading on that curve. I would still think though, so many games announced. We're gonna come out of that E3, and if that E3 is just like, here is updates on the 15 other things we've previously announced, and we're not announcing a lot of new stuff because we still have to focus on all this stuff. That's still going to feel a little bit like a bummer to me, Mike. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they should at least have, something from Coalition to announce at E3, if nothing else, right?
What was that?
Gear 6 or whatever. Something Coalition. Either,
yes.
Gear 6 or whatever that other thing is going to be.
Yeah, the smaller game that they're working on. We'll see if that pans out. The showcase is happening 2 weeks from now, so I guess it's a bit of a wait, but once we get there, we'll get all the details. And again, at least for the very least, I'm happy to be looking forward to Redfall. It's kind of annoying that's coming out in May when Tears of the Kingdom will be here. It's like, man, I wish those things could get spread. I mean, I guess that's the rumor, right? We don't know if Redfall's May, but it seems like
May, June, July are already pretty. There's a lot of stuff. Is it June or July? That's the Street Fighter and Final Fantasy 6 month. There was something else.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to be going through them all here in the second half of the show. So
fun.
We'll nail down all those release dates.
We'll nail them.
Yes, we will nail them. We'll nail them. God damn it, break their backs in. I think is what the kids say. Mike, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we're going to make some decisions.
Okay.
Okay. You got to go to the bathroom or anything? You ready to get into this?
I don't got to go bathroom. We got a lot of super chats. Why don't we maybe chip away at those when we get back, and then we can do the rest later?
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for the super chats, everybody. It means a lot.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I like how they directly translate into money for me. For more scotchies. Mikey needs scotchy. Tips for your vacation. Your first vacation. You going to Universal or Hollywood?
Yeah, what are you doing, Major Blazer? And I'm happy for you.
You said it earlier, but I
missed it.
I think in August he's going to Universal. So I don't know as much about Universal Hollywood's whole shtick. Really. I mean, the problem is if you want to go to Disneyland, going from Hollywood, even though it's like, they're both like LA, it's pretty hard to get from one to the other. So you have to set aside a lot of time. Don't go to actual Hollywood unless you really want to. It's pretty dirty. Like, don't go to that street. It's pretty depressing. But Universal Hollywood's a lot of fun. And there's not it's not huge, so it's hard for me to be like, you have to do this and that. Just go do what you want to do. Do Nintendo World, obviously. But then, go check out the Potter shit and do the tram ride. Don't skip out on that. The tram tour is super fun. Make sure you do the tram tour. Everwild from Rare. There's a name I haven't thought about in a long time. Everwild.
Oh, God, yeah.
Is that even really still happening?
That'll be another one where if it does come out, it won't necessarily be the thing that we saw because it got a pretty
nothing.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, yes, right. So I guess it's permitted to turn into whatever it wants at a certain point because they never promised anything specific. But even then, I think it's still like a harder reboot than most. Reboot.
Should have called Jaws 2. Jaws 2 Reboot.
Jaws 2, the rebooting.
Why don't we get back in the show?
Yeah, I'm just kind of just waiting for you to stop talking, Mike, honestly. So I think it's pretty
ironic.
Pretty ironic that you're like, stop talking, let's get back to the show. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, wow. Kind of mad at you.
Guys.
All right, here we go. Mike, we got a bunch of super chats here in the first half of the show. Why don't we dig into those, and when we come back after that, we'll hit hot mess and king shit of the week from you, me, and the community. Sounds good?
Okay.
All right, hit me with those super chats.
So Nintendo says, will we ever find out what games Ubisoft canceled?
I mean, we might hear a few here and there. I mentioned, or I wrote down some from reports, but I would have to actually look pretty close. Splinter Cell VR and Ghost Recon Frontline. It's usually like games like that. Games that like they're experimenting with. Let's take one of our existing brands and do an existing idea from someone else and apply it to the existing brand. And they were doing that with the Division Heartland. Whatever it was, they were making that game, and then they canceled that game, and then they canceled other stuff, and then brought Heartland back off the shelf and started working on that again. That's just where Ubisoft's at right now. But I mean, just do any combination of like Splinter Cell VR, Ghost Recon shooter, but like the Frontline shooter or whatever, and you'll probably come up with a bunch of good ideas that were probably canceled.
The Vinster says, "Hey guys, first time watching live. Thanks for the great content every week. Thank you. What do you think Xbox has in store for us in the latter half of the year? Hellblade 2? Anything else? Maybe Starfield."
I'm sticking with June for Starfield. I'm sticking with June.
I mean, Hellblade 2 would make some sense. That seems
I took it on my fantasy league, but it was mostly like, of all the ones that were supposed to come out this year, I think that one's the most likely. And I also think it's very likely to get delayed into 2024. So,
yeah, but it still seems like it seems way more likely than getting Perfect Dark or...
yes.
Yeah.
But I mean...
what else?
Avowed, yes. There's
Avowed.
Yes, a bunch of them. I mean, I suppose any... Like Hellblade 2 and another one of those previous announced games, any of them could come out in the second half of this year, but I think even that's pushing it. It really feels like Hellblade 2, and there was... there's probably some other smaller projects that, like, it could be like that smaller coalition project. It could be something that
Gears of War collection is a rumor that's been going around again.
Right, Gears of War. Who knows? I have no idea if that's real, but maybe something like that, or the Tango GameWorks game that I heard might be at the show. It might not be. Well, I mean, I have no idea. We'll see. Maybe something like that could come out. Something equivalent to Pentiment, right? Where it's like Hellblade 2 could be the big thing. Yeah. Starfield is something everyone's still talking about. And now it's okay that we just have a Pentiment level game because this was a pretty good year otherwise. But we'll see. Maybe they have some surprises. They got to get to that E3. And if they're like hitting Starfield real hard and everything's going well with them at that time, and then they have a pretty good E3, most people will feel pretty good about just getting Hellblade 2 in the second half of the year, I think.
DR Maddox says, B and C boys, a game for you. This is my Haku game of the year list. Can you guess them all? I put the rest in chat, but feel free to skip 10. So so he's got one here. We'll try this. This is a Haku, and it's one of his games of the year. Forward and backward, view within the within view, backward and forward. Forward and backward, view within the within view, backward and forward. My only guess is Live Alive based off of very little.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a guess. I'm actually gonna have to open up the super chat so I can get a look at this.
Just guess. You can take my second guess. Pentiment.
Okay. Pentiment. I guess Pentiment. There you go.
There you go. George says Starfield. Tom Henderson heard June. He can't confirm though.
Yeah, I mean
Starfield's release date.
It makes sense. I think I've had some people that I can't confirm in my DMs saying that as well, but I've had people in my DMs also saying delayed to the second half of next year. So there's a whole bunch of fun stuff out there. None of it confirmed though. So please don't go run and write a headline about that because it's just literally just people in my DMs. Everybody.
The Haku game was Immortality.
Okay, I got to
rewind.
Are you trying to say haiku?
Yeah. What am I? What Haku?
You're saying Haku.
I'm saying the bad guy from Samurai Jack.
Yes. Guy. Yes, you are, and it's fucking me up, Mike.
Okay, all right. Figure out with context, Jeff. I know
what you meant, obviously, because you started doing the syllable thing, but it's still bad. It's still like you still said Haku.
Galaga.
Yeah, I was gonna say Galaga.
Yeah.
You said Galaga though. That's
which one do I say?
Did you try to say it wrong and you said it right on accident?
Yeah,
I hate you so much.
Damn it. What's the idiot way that idiots say it? Ariel Delgado says, I am just going to assume Beyond Good and Evil 2 is canceled. It's been a long time since we got news on that one. Any surprises at Xbox event? They sure seem to be setting expectations that there won't be surprises.
That's what it feels like to me. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think that like that Tango GameWorks thing probably won't pop off here. But I don't know if anywhere they said Redfall, Forza, Minecraft Legends, and Elder Scrolls Online, and that's it. nothing else. I guess they're not saying it like that, but to me, it feels like just short of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Whenever you specifically list the games, instead of being like, who knows what's going to be there, because that's part of the fun. Isn't it exciting to maybe find out? Instead of like, no, these are the games.
Yep.
Here's your expectations. So who knows? There might be a surprise. I would not count on one.
Yeah, same.
And then about Beyond Good and Evil 2 being canceled. We talked about that. I don't know if it's canceled yet. I think there's a team that is working on it right now. I would just still be shocked if that game comes out. If it does come out, it'll be in a form that'll have nothing to do with that grandest version of it that they talked about.
Agreed.
Brian says, how much you think that Ubisoft's aggressive discounting of games has contributed to their financial decline? I've heard some talk about this, Jeff. A lot of people wait for discounts, specifically in terms of Mario plus Rabbids, because apparently, as opposed to like Nintendo games proper, everyone's like, well, the other Mario Rabbids went on discount really fast, so I'm just going to wait for that to happen here. I wonder if like that many consumers are really that smart about these kind of things.
I mean, a lot of people, wait for deals to make purchases. That's a pretty normal consumer thing to do. I just don't know, like, are we really going to be like, oh, Ubisoft is hampering themselves by trying to sell more copies to people that, I mean, everyone else does that. That's not Ubisoft's problem. Like, because Sony does that. I mean, Sony doesn't do it as aggressively as Ubisoft, obviously, but
Sega does it like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there are clearly much bigger issues at play than they slowly lower, maybe not even slowly, but they lower the price of their games eventually. Everyone does that.
Dr. Butthugger says, want a good laugh? Read the Rocksmith Plus track list. Ubisoft San Francisco had an amazing product, and the higher-ups forced them to make a live service version. Yeah, I actually got the preview Rocksmith Plus, and it's really impressive. It seems like a really cool teaching tool, but I know a lot of people have problems with the live service element of it and the track list not being what it should be.
Yeah, I was like kind of half interested in this game, but I never really paid much attention to it.
Then B. Traven here says, NPCs in sandbox games like Elder Scrolls haven't gotten any smarter since Bethesda Radiant AI. I predict the first game to get smart NPCs right makes money. Wasn't that supposed to be Cyberpunk saying? Weren't they supposed to have like really smart NPCs, or am I making that up? And then they didn't.
Oh yeah, I definitely was in those E3 showcases, those behind closed doors demos where they would talk about, here we're playing the game and here's how they're going to respond, and when you make a decision here, it's going to be like a real problem for you later because they're going to find ways to come back and get you later, or in the middle of this mission you can deviate and the AI is going to be able to be like, oh, I understand, it's like it's overarching mission and be able to adapt, and none of that stuff happened. I mean, obviously that would be a big advancement. That's actually reminds me of like a topic for this show I want to talk about here in the next couple of weeks is which game coming out do you think has the best chance of being the biggest sort of, or the most ambitious, or the best chance of pushing the industry forward. I think we've gone through many years now where that just hasn't been top of mind of most publishers. And I think there's probably a chance where one of those games does come along, does deliver on stuff that like something like Cyberpunk was promising, and really hits a home run because they get close enough that people notice all the possibilities. But it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of research and development, and we'll see if anyone's even trying here in the next couple of years, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's trying their best just to keep their head above the water here.
Yes.
All right. That's it for Super Chats for now. Guys, if you send more Super Chats in, we will read them before the end of the show. Thank you all so much.
Mike, I want to ask you about your hot mess and King Shit of the Week. If you're ready, do you have a hot mess? Because I got a couple here, and I got a bunch from the community as well.
Yeah, I mean it's our boy Yeez, right?
Yes, I think he might be our hot mess, definitely.
Yeah, he's the one who's like, his company's doing poorly, and he's also handling it poorly, right?
Yes. Yep.
He's been in charge this entire time. And he's like, we're all looking for the guy who did this. And he's like, you guys, what you doing? You got to get us out of this problem, right? Like, what are you talking about? Yep. You're in charge. You get us out of the problem. What's your plan, right?
Yeah, and their plan is spend less money, stop hiring people. When people leave, don't replace them. And it's like all that stuff is just going to exacerbate the problem, which, I mean, I get it. You got to cut costs, but then not offering any vision about what to do here is just looking real bad. Yeah, he's easily a hot shit of the week. My hot mess is that up to 20 developers were left off the credits for the Callisto protocol. This is getting pretty it's getting pretty stupid at this point, Mike. That people can work on a game like the Callisto protocol, something that's like pretty middling or divisive at least in its reviews, and it's like, but people like slaved over that. They worked really hard for years. They put blood and tears into it. The director of that game made a big deal about how everyone's working so hard on that, and we're crunching to get this thing finished and all that stuff. And then you don't even give credit to every single person who did work on that stuff. And it's
so easy.
It's so easy. You should just do it. This stuff matters to the people that do work on it, not just because it's like, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but like, it is just like, look, most people don't read the credits. It's not a big deal. It's there largely for the people who worked on it, just so, it's nice. It's just a nice thing to do, largely.
And you need to be in those credits to, like, put stuff on your resume. Yeah. Like, people check that stuff. They check Moby Games when you are trying to get other jobs. You need those credits.
Vindictive shit, man.
Yep. The one thing that when you're getting hired in the games industry, the one thing they care about more than anything else is, did you ship a game? And according to the credits of Callisto Protocol, up to 20 people that did help ship a game, they did not, according to the credits. It's messed up.
Sorry, Jeff.
It's just messed up. Go ahead.
Is this the weird Jeff Keighley butt kisser who's being vindictive about this?
I don't know if I think it's I can't remember his name.
Guy who was on stage and like was supposed to talk about Callisto Protocol instead, like gave a mini speech to Jeff about how great he was. It seems so pandering and pathetic.
It is him, exactly. He's like, man, we wouldn't be here. Video games wouldn't exist without Jeff Keighley.
Video games wouldn't exist without you, Jeff Keighley.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
That's
good.
And it kind of just looks a little bit more.
Right. I can't believe he's a weirdo.
Yeah, look, it's very lip servicey in the light of this, where it's like, oh yeah, the people that actually do the work. I can't believe he's only nice
to people that he thinks can help him.
Yep.
Promote his game.
And like, you say vindictive. I'm inclined to agree with you, but maybe it's just laziness or just incompetence, or just like, oh, it's just not how things are done. We're not even thinking about it in that way. That doesn't matter. It needs to happen. You guys need to figure this stuff out. This is a mess at this point.
It's a game mess.
It's a game mess. Previously, it was just that was how games worked. We're over this stuff. People worked on these things, and they deserve the credit. How about your king shit for the week, Mike? What do you got?
Well, I don't know if it's Jay or Jay Hay, but let's say Jay Hay.
Hell yes.
The Super Mario Galaxy 2 speedrunner who got the any % world record during a race, during Games Done Quick live. This is a almost 3-hour long speed run. Getting that record during then was just absolutely bananas, bonkers. Definitely one of the coolest things I've seen at Games Done Quick, which I've been watching pretty regularly since I think 2015 at least. So yeah, records happen sometimes, usually for smaller games that not a whole lot of people are running. Like the one time I can remember, it was Maui Maured in Cold Shadow, right? For like Super Mario Galaxy 2, like it's a Mario game, beloved Mario game.
And most of the time during events like this, the runners are running their safety run, where it's like, we're doing the stuff that we know we can pull off because we don't want to elongate the run by messing up in any major way. But this was a race, so he did have to try as hard as possible for pretty much, and boy, that helped. Setting a world record. That was some real king shit, absolutely.
How about you?
Masahiro Sakurai's got a YouTube channel, Mike, and he put out one this week about Kirby's Air Ride, and he starts off the video talking for 2 minutes about how awesome drifting is, and it's just like, it rules to see a guy be like pretty much the like to be able to like do a victory lap on his career, come out and be like, man, I knew back then drifting ruled, and I just wanted to make a game about drifting, and so we had to do something with Kirby because we wanted to put a Kirby game on the GameCube, and I just knew this would be a perfect match. And then he talks about how that was the game essence, and then he talked about all these other ways about how he fully understood about the ways to make drifting feel better. It's like it is king shit to see someone who understands stuff like gaming so well put these pieces together. It's real impressive. All his videos are kind of like that, but this one really just got me. I'm like, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. That guy's good at making games.
I need to watch more of his channel because every time I watch it, it's great. He obviously knows what's up. He's very insightful. Kirby Air Ride's a great game that kind of seemed like underappreciated at the time, and now it's really talked about fondly, which is nice. Did he talk at all about the canceled 3D Kirby game for the GameCube? I wonder.
He mentioned it a little bit. He's like, yeah, we canceled a Kirby game, and he didn't like go into many details about it, but yeah, he mentioned it, and then he talked about some of the other Kirby games to be made at that time, some by other companies, and he's like, listen, I directed Air Ride, so that's why I'm talking about here, but all these other companies deserve credit for all their stuff. He just seems cool.
Yeah, seems like a smart guy.
We have some hot mess and king shit from the community. Starting here with Nintendo, bro. I only have a hot mess, which is Mike Minotti complaining about being in Nintendo jail while simultaneously saying Sonic is better than Mario. How do you respond?
Well, that's not what I said. All I said was, what if I said Sonic? I like Sonic 1 more.
This only makes it worse.
Mario
this
World.
Chicken shit excuse only makes it worse.
That's all I said. I just want to have the conversation, Jeff.
Just asking questions, bro.
I'm just asking questions, bro.
Debate me. Bench JC, I'd say the hot mess is Ubisoft. I don't think I need to explain. I'd say king shit is Final Fantasy 14 6.3. They continue to put out quality content, and it's always a good time. How are things in Final Fantasy land? Where are you at in terms of your MMO time right now?
Yeah, so it's funny because I was playing more World of Warcraft again because that expansion came out. I'm still checking in with Final Fantasy 14 a little bit every day, just kind of doing my sort of daily. I don't want to say chores; it makes it sound like it's work. But I'd go in, I'd level up this job a little bit, or I would try to keep up with my auctions. The new patch came out, so that means new story content, and the story content is like the main story. That's this continuing thing. It's kind of a fun time in the life cycle because we're in the middle of this adventure between expansions, but it's clearly maybe hinting at what's going to be coming next. That next expansion might be like a bit over a year away now at this point, so we're at that point when we're kind of thinking about that.
Right.
But this also means new a bunch of other new content, including a new alliance raid. And this is the thing that you do with a total of 24 players. And these have been super fun. You fight 4 bosses that are really well designed, super cool. And the music is just ridiculous. There's this vocal song for the final boss here, and there's a person on a violin just going nuts. You need to just hear the song. It rules so hard. I did this raid with my brother AJ on Tuesday, and we just had such a good time with that. So yeah, just seems like another really good patch. So yeah, I've just been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 again. I mean, I've always been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, but yep, even more of it. I sure do like that video game.
Yeah, it sounds like it's still in a really good place and continues to get better. So yeah,
right. And it seems like there's definitely room for World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14 to kind of be popular. Right. And there kind of are. It almost happened, but I don't know if it happened by accident or what. But they kind of released their big content things and expansions alternating in a way, right? So they don't step on each other's toes too much in some ways.
Yeah, maybe they're just busy playing each other's stuff, and then they get around to making their stuff, and that's how it just worked out naturally. Low Rule also mentioned Glenn Schofield. Thanks for that. Vince Bop to Vince said his hot mess is Vince McMahon for whatever the fuck is going on at WWE right now. But what did the Saudi Arabia acquisition ever pan out, or was that just kind of?
Yeah, as I was somewhat afraid of, it was just reported by some mid-tier.
It was reported by Kermit the Frog, wasn't it?
Kermit the Frog was had the rumor first, but it wasn't CNBC or something, right? So yeah, we don't know what's going on there. Some people are saying now maybe there've been talks, but nothing is official there. Who knows what's going on? It would still just be weird if that happened because so many people would be upset. But Vince McMahon's crazy and he can do what he wants. Right. And maybe that's the only way he thinks he can regain just total control again is to sell to Saudi, let them make him in charge, if assuming he has to stay in there. That's somewhat interesting. That Vince McMahon would have to be nice, or have to suck up to the Saudi princess to make sure that he keeps getting to play pretend wrestling for the rest of his life. I don't know. There's so many weird rumors and stuff going around. I was just reading some report. Again, I don't know if it's true that Stephanie and Triple H were opposed to the sale, and that's why Stephanie's gone, and who knows how much longer Triple H is going to be around. You know what my big takeaway, though, Jeff?
Yeah.
Really good Dynamite last night.
Yes.
Really good AEW episode last night. So,
hey, yeah. Vince's king shit, or Bop's, king shit goes to, sorry, Mike, The Last of Us. I've never actually played the series and started playing PS5 remaster of part 1 in anticipation for the show. It's not some divine gift from God, but man, it's pretty looking and pretty good game.
It's a very good game.
A game is good when you know a lot of the spoilers, but those moments still hit like a Mack truck. Mike, I've decided I'm going to give it a shot just to see if I really like it, and then I can annoy you about it. because I think that'd be fun.
I don't want to be like the I don't like Last of Us guy. I liked Last of Us 1 a lot when it came out. I just, how many flowers does something need, right?
Yes, that's
just my thing. And look, I'm gonna poke fun at it, I guess. Is all it is, and I'm not gonna watch the show. Don't care. I would definitely replay the game or play the remake, whatever thing, before I go and watch that show.
He also points out that bids are open for Fantasy Critics. So this is the busiest weekend of the year for bids. So other than outside of E3, so don't miss out if you are in the leagues. We have 2 of them going. We'll do some updates on those throughout the year. Gigantis says, hot mess is Skull and Bones. Ubisoft's 6th delay of this game. Ubisoft is sinking. What a mess. As for king shit, it would be Fantasy Critic. I had my first draft this year. It was a ton of fun. It was nice to nerd out over some video games with the homies. I've also enjoyed watching other drafts as content. They give me more games to get hyped about. Yeah, that was fun. I had a good time doing our drafts. How about you?
Yeah, I did. I'm a little nervous about my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth pick. I hope that game does come out this year, but I was very happy I got Pikmin 4. I feel like that's a really strong pick for me.
Dr. Sus is giving his king shit to Sony for their newly announced accessibility controller. Colin, I dedicate my king shit to the podcast, The More Civilized Age. I agree. Which recently wrapped their outstanding series on Andor. It's a really good.
Oh, no one likes that show.
Yes, it's a really good companion piece to Andor, everybody. So if you were watching Andor and you're like, God, I wish I could hear somebody talk about this that actually has read Marks before. Go do that. That's the way to watch that show. Jeremy,
do you think Dan Reichert thinks Marks is a writer who writes about people who think wrestling is real?
Yes, either that or he probably, like, for some reason he's like he still thinks it's just a comedian, the Marx Brothers or whatever, like just the comedians or whatever.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah,
I want to watch Duck Soup again.
What's Duck Soup?
That's the big Marx Brothers.
Is that a Marx Brother one?
Most famous one. Yeah, if you're gonna watch one, watch Duck Soup.
I wonder if it's in the public domain. We could just stream it.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Probably. From Jeremy Biff, king shit, paying $5 a month to get Mike and Jeff to say dumb stuff. Booyah ka-chow.
Booyah ka-chow.
Hot mess. Xbox Twitter account. I don't like when brands try to have personality, and Xbox feels like it's trying hard to be my friend. Last week, they asked everyone what their gaming hot takes are. Yeah, that stuff runs real hot and cold sometimes. In the moment, sometimes, and it's not usually Xbox, but some accounts, it's like when they pop off and they have like a clap back towards someone. I'm like, yeah, get them, brand. And then I'm like, oh, well, that's actually kind of gross. Never mind.
It's pretty gross. I did follow my first brand in a while today. I found there's an official Popeye Twitter account, and I guess everybody was sending in pictures of Luke from the Street Fighter 6 profile. And he's like, who is this swab and who dressed him? I'm like, yeah, that's funny. It's
funny to ask Popeye.
So hearing Popeye talk about video game characters in 2023 tickles my fancy smidge.
That's somehow real funny. Jeremy Biff also mentions king shit. Jamal Williams, Aaron Rodgers sucks. I'm a Detroit Lions fan now. Can we get Jamal Williams on Last of the Nintendogs? I'll try. I'll have to play some more Pokemon so I know what I'm talking about, because he'll get real mad if I mess up and call it Pokemon.
Don't call Pokemon.
Don't call it Pokemon. He'll get you.
It's disrespectful.
Don't be doing Pokemon like that. Big Tony, hot mess is easily Vince McMahon. Lenny Cool Dick Denver, hot mess is definitely the 4070 Ti, or just the entire series of graphics cards from NVIDIA and AMD. It's like they both came together and said, what if we both make everything cost more than it should? So this current generation of cards would cost you a kidney. We can use more kidneys. King shit is that Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega Wrestle Kingdom match. Mike, I haven't watched this yet.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I have a New Japan World subscription, so if you want to watch it sometime.
Yeah, someone else also gave me their login information. I was pretty sick when I got it, so I'm like, I gotta check in on that.
Yeah. I didn't watch the whole show. I watched that, the FTR versus Goto and Yoshi match. I have this weird reoccurring joke with my friend. Goto's just like a mid-carder New Japan that is really good. He's had some pushes, but he's never like won the world title. But he's a good worker. For some reason, there's like this lore that my dog Penny is a really big Goto fan, and we just talk about that constantly. And like every time Goto's on screen, I'm like, oh shit, Penny's gonna freak out, or if Goto loses. Like, next time we're chatting, I'll be like, yeah, Penny was just really upset about, we treat it dead serious. So that's how I amuse myself.
Beef Hammer and Jet and Time both mentioned Ubisoft as part of their, well, no, actually Beef Hammer mentioned Mike Minotti's gaming takes as their hot mess. Jet Time's hot mess was Ubisoft and the eventual Game of the Year winner, Skull and Bones. King shit for...
What if, though, man? What if, huh? Wouldn't that be something?
I hope so. I hope that's exactly the world we're living in. Is there any chance that game is good?
I mean, I don't understand how it couldn't be in some ways, because you just had to take that good system you had in another game and just kind of make it its own thing.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be overthought that much. Like, that was pretty fun. I mean, fucking Kingdom Hearts 3 basically just stole it for a bit, and it was fun in that. Kingdom Hearts 3 did it as one level in its game, and it was Kingdom Hearts 3. So I don't know. I agree that I somehow don't expect it to be, but I also don't understand why not.
The Jet in Time also mentions their king shit is RRR winning the Golden Globe for Best Original Song. This is huge. As an Indian myself, seeing a film like this makes such an impact overseas. I'm really happy to hear that, Jet. That's incredible.
Very nice. But does this mean that Lady Gaga did not win for that Top Gun song?
That's exactly what it means, Mike.
Well, then I'm not happy.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. Screaming Madden's hot mess isn't gaming related, but the result of the College Football National Championship. Okay, it's clearly not as messy as some other answers, but for a season of CFB that was one of the best in recent memory, from teams like my favorite Florida State being good, again to TSU of all teams reaching the finals. It was a shame that the championship was so one-sided. I mean,
yeah.
Ohio State should have been in there, and Michigan. That call was a touchdown, and they lost by 6. It should have been Ohio State, Michigan. And that would have been
amazing.
That would have been
so fun.
A fucking meltdown of an amazing. I mean, even if the game was a blowout, it still would have been Ohio State, Michigan in the championship, and that story alone would have been incredible. Chaos Buckaroo, hot mess. Bandai Namco, as you all discussed on Last of the Nintendogs, Bandai Namco is releasing a remastered version of a Tales of Symphonia that is worse than the 20-year-old original. What a damn shame!
What the hell? Like, just go download Dolphin, I guess. Right? Like, what is going on?
Absolutely, Dolphin runs great on the Steam Deck and on any number of other devices. Runs great on Android. King shit is Mike for standing courageously in the face of his enemies and never wavering from his opinions that Sonic 1 is better than Super Mario World.
Thank you.
He said this with his whole chest, however misguided it might be.
I don't want to throw the word hero around, but...
Don't encourage him, Buckaroo, please. Mr. Bowler, hot mess is my hopes for another Mario plus Rabbids game. Sparks of Hope is a very good game, but with the way Ubisoft is calling it a disappointment, I think we'll just have to be happy we got a couple of good games out of it. They should have done something different. That's what if they were going to do Rabbids and Mario again, as good as this game apparently is, again, I haven't really played it. I still want to. But as good as this game is, they should have just done a different genre. And they should have made it like an RPG, actually.
Like actual turn-based RPG.
Or whatever. Action RPG. Make it like Kingdom Hearts. I don't give a fuck. But like, do something different with those Mario characters, mixing it up with Rabbids characters.
I mean, we laughed at that Muso idea. If you made a Mario Rabbids game of Muso, that would have tickled my fancy. I think that was part of the first one. Like, well, that's weird. Mario has a gun. The Rabbids, I don't know. That's almost weird, I guess. Maybe that's kind of neat. But like the second time, that's not weird anymore. Now you're just those Rabbids again. Okay. And here's Edge, and she's really cool, and she has like a big sword. She's really strong.
Yeah.
And it is a good game. It is, but yet I didn't want to beat it.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Nick Thurber says make it like a dragon. Make it like a dragon. I would like to see like Mario and Rabid Mario like singing karaoke. That would be very good. I'd like that a lot.
It should have been a karaoke game.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I think Mr. Buller's King Shit. Yes, King Shit goes to everyone who's helped put on another great Games Done Quick event. These are always great to watch, and it's good to see how people donate. Yeah, those things always amaze me. How many people watch, how many people contribute, how many people donate. It is really impressive stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder. I gotta check the schedule. Did you watch the Neon White speedrun?
I was watching the Neon White stuff. That is flabbergasting, actually, because boy, those levels just go by so fast, and he's doing it right the first time, every time. It's kind of I have a hard time understanding what's even happening.
It's funny because like I'm watching, I'm like, oh, these are the strats I do. That's neat. But then he's like doing all of them like consecutively, like it's like a normal game, like not having to retry 50 times like I do to get it right that one time. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, he's just in another world. Yep. Mm-hmm. From Hosp, hot message Ubisoft with more delays. Clink says, as a newfound lover of garbage, Skull and Bones, I think, is both for me. The fact that the game has been delayed again with promises of an eventual release is a baffling hot mess. Pseudo Gerudo, Jeff stuffing his pockets with 300 travel-size toothpaste tubes for a podcast joke. Grubb.
It did happen.
Mike using the calcified remains of Nintendo jail prisoners to construct a shrine to Doug Bowser and Minotti. He says their king shit goes to Jeff powering through sickness and putting on some good shows around the web. Thank you very much. Mike gets an honorary king shit because he didn't get sick from cutting Jeff's hair. That's fair.
That's true. That's true. I do have that bag of hair. It's in the house now. I had to make room in my car, which is terrifying. It hasn't come to life and strangled me yet.
It's gonna be like that episode of when I can't remember the name of the show, but it is gonna come to life and it is gonna attack you.
What Twilight Zone?
No, it's an anime. It's the one good anime. Hot mess goes to Ubisoft, I guess. I mean,
the Cowboy Bebop in the fridge. How did I know what you were referencing?
Yeah,
ew, gross.
Wait, you can't say you gross though. Can we give him everyone's hot mess this week for that?
Somehow every time I would put on Adult Swim, it's like, Cowboy Bebop on. Everybody likes this. I guess I'll watch it. It's like 4 times. It's always that fridge episode.
It's a good episode, but it is like a bottle episode that's like self-contained. Right. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least Samurai Champloo, which I actually watched with friends one time, its bottle episode was a baseball episode, and that I always like.
That's good stuff. The Uncharted Wolf, hot mess goes to Bench JC in the Discord for making a bet with me as follows. He thinks Hogwarts Legacy will be a top 3 best-selling brand new game of 2023, the same year as a new Spider-Man, Star Wars, Zelda, and a Bethesda game comes out. It is selling very well on Steam right now.
I mean, he might be right. Don't forget, Spider-Man is just on PlayStation. Hogwarts Legacy is going to be on Switch. I don't think it's going to run well, but it's going to sell a couple million more copies.
I think it has. I think it's very. If it comes out and the reviews are good, I think it could do the Lego. Yeah, it could do the Lego Star Wars numbers, which is massive. That would be huge, and that would make it one of the top 3 best-selling new games of the year. I think because I think that's what Lego was number 3. Well, we'll see. A lot of it comes down to whether or not the game is good. I don't think all of the backlash to J.K. Rowling is going to hurt it as much as it drives me crazy. King shit goes to Alex, also in the Discord. He was the only person to predict that Skull and Bones wouldn't release in Q1 2023, making him the first person community-wise to get points in my Metacritic predictions game. Wow. That's impressive.
That's right. That's right. We put scores on it. Shit.
Oh,
man. I mean, in our defense, really, they're going to delay it.
Come on.
Again, I was talking to their PR. Give me a break.
Oh, man, incredible. Vision 49, hot mess. I'm going to have to go with Ubisoft. King shit goes to you guys and the Discord. The pods are always a ton of fun and genuinely informative when it comes to the business end of games. We're just making all this shit up. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much, Vision. Jedi Moss 4, the hot mess continues to be AAA games as they become increasingly more expensive and longer to make with no guarantee of success. P.S. before someone says indie games can fill the gap, which I think I did earlier this episode, they are as vulnerable to risk as AAA games. Yes, also true, if not more so. See games that don't land well like Sports Story. Yeah, what do you think happens to that studio after Sports Story?
I don't know. That's rough. I mean, they spent basically the last 6 years making that, right?
Yep.
What happens?
The king shit is AAA games because they when they do pull it off with games like Elden Ring, it's truly a magical experience. I mean, yeah, but Elden Ring is From Software exists in a world beyond AAA. They are doing stuff no one else can do because they have the art and the design capacity that just no one else does. It's a high risk, high reward industry, and it's very weird. Yes, Nick Turbo's hot mess. Having to wait over a month to see Jeff suffer playing more Bubsy 3D. It was a long wait, and I was very excited not to play it. And then I got back to it today, and let me tell you, that game fucking sucks, Mike. It's so bad.
Look, Jeff, I always tell you, you're not going to get any sympathy from me. I had that game as a kid and had to make the most of it.
I always forget that. That's such a miserable thing to imagine that I just don't. I can't imagine you actually having that. We were trying to guess, do you think more than 5,000 people have beaten that game? I don't think so.
That's a good question.
Did you beat it?
No, we did not beat it. I mean, we probably at some point, maybe if there was a cheat to see the final level, we might have done that.
Yeah, sure.
I bet at least 1,000 people have ironically beaten it at this point. But I don't know.
There are no walkthroughs of that game on GameFAQs.
No way.
Yes.
There had to be at some, because GameFAQs has had some purges, I think.
Okay, so maybe it got lost on purge. Maybe we could check the Wayback Machine.
X Purge.
Nick Turbo says, King shit, me buying an SNES NSO controller for retro games like the Castlevania Advanced Collection. Oh,
Nice.
yeah, that's cool.
I couldn't sleep a couple nights ago. I was just looking at that Nixie GameCube thing again, and for some reason they had like 80 more in stock, so I was able to order one of those.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
yes, that Switch GameCube style controller.
You sent me the link. You're like, hey, try to buy this right now while you can. By the time I clicked on it, the site was down. It wasn't even sold out. It just wouldn't even load. So, all right, let's see where we're at. Gerbear says their hot mess is the inexorable rise of YouTube face in CES coverage. I can't tell if the product is bad or if the host has gas. That's fair. I'm over this at this point. I'm like, I know, I understand.
Is this?
People going with the big wide surprised face whenever they're seeing a new product. Or
sure,
reaction face or whatever.
Yeah, the reaction face. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Apparently that works. Is all I know, right? That's why all the YouTube thumbnails for everything look the same. Even ours a little bit more now, but
yeah, the brain likes faces. The brain likes faces a lot.
Yeah,
it's stupid to try to stand against it, but yeah,
especially my face.
Yeah, that's definitely stupid. King shit from Gerbear. YouTube finally deciding to put manners on all those potty mouth streamers who swear their way through life. Uncouth scum.
Fuck
this is fuck them. This is probably going to be a problem for us eventually. We'll see.
Is this really a thing now?
They changed their guidelines on being ad suitable. We'll see if we start getting demonetized.
That's okay. I thought I could start swearing less, contrary to what I said 10 seconds ago. If we had to start being, Jeff, that's not what makes us who we are. Saying fuck.
Speak for yourself.
And vagina. And shit and or poop.
Yep.
Yes.
And asshole. The specific body part. I'm not just saying ass. Asshole.
Juicy wide
gaps.
holes. Is that what you talked about? Juicy wide gaps.
Yeah, juicy premium gaps.
yeah.
You have to listen to what even was that? What were we even talking about? Where were we?
So you're talking about a gap in a release schedule or something.
Oh, that's right. It was on Game S Mornings. All right. So if you want context for that. Yeah. Bayleaf Moon, hot mess for me is the Xbox Developer Direct. It feels like I already know everything that will be shown and has no mystery compared to a showcase or direct, where you have no idea what they'll show or if they'll reveal release dates. Plus, they needed to package in Starfield. Why have two events when you are trying to build up your events and get as many eyes as possible? They have to prove that this is worth our time, right, Bayleaf Moon? I'm right there with you for up to a point. If we get there and this Developer Direct feels informative and fun and breezy and does give some dates that feel like, oh man, that's actually sooner than I was expecting, I think it could still be exciting.
It seems like Forza may be the one that's sooner than we're expecting, because I would have almost not been too surprised if that was a holiday game. And the fact that they're talking about that at this makes me think,
what do you think, like March?
Maybe March.
I might be with you on that.
They should release it the same day as the Gran Turismo movie. When does that come?
Yeah, I think that's later this year.
I got excited for that. Let's go. Orlando Bloom. Orlando Vroom?
Oh my God. Look, Orlando Vroom. Just go tweet it right now.
Oh my God! Shit! I gotta do it.
Matt Raremonkey's hot mess is Justin Roiland. Did you hear about this, Mike?
Yeah, I saw a little bit about this.
2 years of being back and forth in court in a court case for felony domestic assault, allegedly, and no one ever reported on it. I guess people just didn't know about it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Now the person that is bringing the case against them is a Jane Doe, so they don't want their name out there. That is probably a big reason, is that they don't want to be dragged. I'm going to assume that if you are a woman who feels that they were allegedly domestically abused by Justin Roiland, you don't want your name in the media because of the way that audience might respond to you.
No.
That is a fucking tragic...
Yeah, they lost their goddamn mind about chicken nugget sauce.
Yes, that is a grim thought. That sucks. That sucks monkey ass. Matt's king shit. Hopefully a new year of gaming based on what is supposed to come out this year. A great year of gaming. Yes, that's. I hope so. We'll see. We're gonna get a good idea here pretty soon, I think, if things are gonna start really hitting. A couple more here. Tracks hot mess. Wizard of the Coast canceled 5 games at the start of the year and then caused alarm in the D&D community with the leak of an update to the open game license for D&D that would demand people using the license start to pay Wizards of the Coast for using the OGL if they make over a certain amount. They also celebrated and that's quote-unquote celebrated Magic the Gathering's 30th anniversary at the end of last year by only releasing a $1,000 product for the anniversary, where you get 4 packs of cards that are not legal to play in any official format. Man, I'm glad I'm not a fan of any Wizards of the Coast stuff.
Yeah, me too. That's absolutely.
It's a
I'm glad I'm
Hasbro
not
subsidiary.
a fucking nerd.
Yes, exactly what I was trying to say. Tracks King shit. Don't have anything gaming related, so 3-day weekends. Hell yeah, that's a good one. Good call.
There you go.
Mayonetta, hot mess, dumbass is harassing the Aethers SX2 developer to the point that they have now discontinued development. And that was the PS2 Android emulator. That was the one that's like getting active improvements and was like going to be the next big thing for that. They've just said, nope, not going to do it because of death threats. Just wild stuff.
Jeez. Right, man.
Mayonetta's king shit. The workers at the appropriately named proletariat who've organized and are fighting the union-busting capitalist bastards at Activision. Yes, that was a good story this week. And that name, Proletariat Gaming, I love that. Wong Gifts. Actually, hot mess is definitely Justin Roiland. Holy shit. King shit is those workers at Activision. Shoji Kodo, hot mess outside of the obvious answers, Yves Guillemot or Glenn Schofield. I'd like to nominate Nick Turbo purely because he reminded me of the server yesterday about Pilk, which is, I think, Pepsi milk. Is that what Pilk is?
No.
Yeah, Mike's making a face, like the face of like a Coke lover hearing about Pepsi milk. That's what Pilk is, right, everybody? I don't know.
Oh, I hope.
Oh, yeah. They tried to wolf's Pepsi milk. It says right here. King shit. All the QA workers establishing the first union at Microsoft. I
actually feel queasy. I'm sorry. That's disgusting.
Don't knock it before you try it, Mike. Man.
I would not know.
Oh, man. We got to come up with a bet where if you lose, you got to drink Pilk.
I was up here after coming up with Orlando Vroom, and I've just been immediately brought back down here, which is where my
I think I would probably vomit. I do not vomit very easily. The idea of like carbonated milk with like brown liquid. I don't like milk at all, actually.
I don't like milk very much, and I'm like, I had a weird thing for a bit where, like, you know, when you're 12-year-old, you make brands part of your identity, and I did that with Coca-Cola, and you know, a little bit of that is still with me to the point where I'm like, Pepsi is, I don't like Pepsi. They're worse than this other mega corporation, but I still feel that way.
They wouldn't give that kid a Harrier jet. They're bad.
That's right. Yeah, fuck them. Look, it's a little girl, but she has a deep man voice. Fuck you.
New generation, my ass. Yes.
You see that they replaced Sierra Mist?
No, what'd they do?
Yeah.
What?
It's not Sierra Mist anymore. It's called what's it called? Like Starry or something?
Oh, right. Yes, I heard of this name before. I didn't realize it was a replacement for Sierra Mist, though.
Which is weird. I don't know why they bothered. Like, it's not like any.
Sierra Mist is the 7-Up equivalent.
It was there. Well, Sprite, yeah.
Sprite.
Because 7-Up is like not Pepsi or Coke. It's like
Dr. Pepper, yeah.
And Coke had Sprite.
Right.
So like Pepsi needed their own lemon lime cola. So they made Sierra Mist like 20 years ago or whatever.
Sierra Mist sounds like Mountain Dew because it's like Sierra Mountains Mist Dew, yeah. But
and it was fine. It was just, it was literally just Sprite, but made by Pepsi. It's not like Pepsi and Coke where you could probably actually I can tell the difference. I think that Sprite and Sierra Mist probably tasted almost exactly the same.
Sure.
I imagine this is mostly just like, well, if we change the name, maybe a bunch of people will be like, well, now I have to try it for no reason. So
all soda pop brands taste the same except for Coke tastes different. That's the one thing that's like, it's not just another cola, it's Coke. I think, but pretty sure that's their marketing slogan. All right, that does it for our hot mess king shit for this week. Thank you, everybody who helped contribute to that. That was it was a lot of fun to go through all those with you. Some really good answers in there. Mike, why don't we take another quick break? We'll come back and we will hit the calendar for this year and read the rest of the super chats and then talk about the games we've been playing. Sound good?
Okay.
All right, this time he's going to use the potty. All right, there we go. Let's get situated over here. Hope everyone's enjoying the show. Thank you for watching, everybody. That's actually been a real good time so far. I'm like glad to be feeling better, mostly. Wait, what do you want?
No, I was just hanging out.
Okay, cool.
Just waiting for Mikey to do its dirty deeds.
Listen, RC Cola does. Colas do taste better and worse. I agree with that. But they still taste like cola. I think Coca-Cola tastes different, not better it is better, I think, but that's not what makes it different. It is actually different in terms of the flavor profile and better. RC Cola tastes like worst Pepsi, like a worse Pepsi. Does that make sense? Jeff, you goofy. I love
Sure.
it. Thank you very much. Listen, Christian, it was rhetorical. I didn't need you to actually answer because I know I could tell in your voice you don't really believe me.
I think they're both garbage, and I love them because they're killing me.
Well, yes,
they're gonna end up killing me.
Oh,
and
I love
I'm fine with
garbage.
it.
Absolutely, kill me sooner. Deep Elk,
The sooner the better.
best soda is
Deep
Monster.
Elk. I don't want to know what
Yeah,
that
don't
means
ever
anymore.
tell me about Deep Elk ever again.
Is it Dr. Pepper and milk?
Yeah, I think so. I
Stop
think that's what it is. Yep.
Uh,
I was from Michigan and we did drink some Faygo. We had a lot of Faygo growing up for sure.
how is it? Is it good?
It's just cheap pop. It's like store brand soda. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I was totally fine with like the Dr. Was it Dr. K was not Faygo, but their Dr. Pepper equivalent was fine. At least I believe it was their Dr. Pepper equivalent. But I definitely preferred Coke and even Pepsi and stuff. Yeah, Filk. I'll drink some Filk. Let's go. Dr. Thunder. Is that what I'm thinking? Yeah, Dr. Thunder. Thank you, Matthew. God, man.
Dr. Thunder.
Yes.
That's a cool name.
I like that a lot. It's actually a really good name. Oh, Dr. Matic. Uh-oh.
Das.
Yeah, listen, Christian, I gotta let you make the call on this one. DR Matic. I know, we get it, but listen, that might be a line cross.
We gotta get it out of here.
Yeah, we gotta get it out of here. There it goes. See ya. Salutes. Bye. You know what you did.
Accidental.
No line stepping.
I think it was accidental, though.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
I accidentally step on lines all the time.
Okay, he's apologizing. Okay.
Yes, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. It had to get out of here, though. It had to get out of here. All right. Mike, I'm ready to bring this show back if you are.
No, I'm chewing my kicks.
All right. Yeah, do that.
Your what?
Kicks.
Ooh, Major Blazer going to Nintendo World in August.
That's what he was asking us questions about.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, so then, Mike, you got to be better at the, like
I said, I don't have a lot of tips for Universal Hollywood.
But no, I mean, just like for theme parks in general, like what are like common like mistakes to avoid, or is it like really like? Because I would be like,
I will say that Universal
just go there and have fun, or just plan every minute of your day. Like, which one's better?
Well, so for Universal, Universal does sell like a ticket that lets you like go to faster lines, and that might be worth it. Now, it usually won't work with the very newest thing, so it might not work with the Mario Kart ride. But if you really want to do everything, that ticket might be worth it. Otherwise, if you really want to do everything, it can be very much worth it to get there right at opening so that you can get in right away and knock out some of the bigger rides before the crowds really start pouring in.
All right, let's get back. Let me bring up. Actually, hang on. Let me bring up this. And then let me bring in the gamer browser into there, and then we'll get started.
Itchy shoulder blade. Oh, there we go. I got a good angle on it.
Oh,
thanks,
okay.
gamer chair. Now I gotta do the other side because I'm psychotic. Okay.
Almost ready, everybody. Sorry, just getting this in there. Oh, there he goes. Okay. All right, Mike, I want to bring us back in. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Mike, do we get any more super chats that we should hit before we talk about the games that are coming out this year?
Got a few more here. How about I read these real quick?
Yes, please.
Burrito says, Grubb, why am I rolling my eyes? I don't want to sound like a SOB, but I'm so glad you're back to raging at Blight Club. I'm messed up, Jeff. I want to play a game on Blight Club. Like, I'm missing out. Like, I feel like, oh, this looks fun.
It is, I will tell you, Bubsy 3D is not fun. I can confirm that 100%, and now you know. So I remember you've always known.
I know.
It is so infuriating trying to just figure out what is going on, and then you die because the enemies have no there's like no governor on them. If they see you and you're in the range, they just come and they go and they go and they go and they go and they go. And I've just gotten to a level where enemies, I can't jump on their head to kill them, so I can't even get rid of them unless I find a gun, the gun ability and shoot them. But that's like so hidden, it's not even worth going for. So I'm dying frequently, and then when I die, I respawn at the checkpoint, and I look around, and I'm lost every single time because everything looks exactly the same.
Right, there's no identifiable landmarks.
A nightmare. It is such a bad game.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Next one here is from El Grug. What am I thinking again? Who mailed Jeff's hair to Tam. Don't tell him, though. Yeah, Tam maybe has it coming after saying I was disrespectful. What level of respect does he think that whole procedure of lobbing off Jeff's hair did? It was his own fault.
Yeah, fair. True.
Yeah, you get no simpy from me.
Give me your
Uncharted Wolf says, I lost a bet in the Discord, so that's why I drank Pilk. Oh, the initial taste isn't awful, but the aftertaste was awful and stayed for 6 hours. I'm gonna throw up. Don't ever talk to me about Pilk again.
What about D-Pilk, as the chat was mentioning, which is Dr. Pepper milk?
Yeah, that's also pretty gross. Slightly less, but no, don't mix milk with soda. Don't mix milk with anything. I don't even like
milk with cereal.
Milk. No, I like milk as an ingredient, like cooking things, like to make sauces.
Sure, yeah.
I like a glass of milk. Like I get it.
At least there's no milk and cheese, though. That's one good thing.
I love cheese. Funny enough, cheese is just the best, baby. There's man. Yeah, that's nasty. I don't like milky alcoholic drinks. I don't like Baileys or I hate not old Russians. What are they called? White Russians. I think white Russians are gross. I don't care how much you like the Big Lebowski. Ew.
Any other super chats?
That is it for now. But guys, we will still read them if you get them in before the end of the show here.
Yep, thanks for those. All right, let's talk about what's coming out later this year. And I think what we'll do is after we mention these games this week, I want to come back next week, Mike. So think about this as we're talking about these games, and I want you and me, and maybe we could have the chat contribute, or the community contribute this a little bit. Maybe we can have them vote on it. What do you think will be the top 10 games at the end of this year, based on what we know now? Now, obviously, there's going to be games in there that we didn't even know existed by the end of this year. That's how it always is. But let's see how close we can get. All right. Starting off with the first big game that's coming out soon. I guess let me check these. Right? Yeah, we do have Persona 4 and 3 coming out to more stuff here in the next couple of days. One Piece Odyssey came out literally today. But the first real big game on this list is Fire Emblem Engage on January 20th. Mike, I know we've talked a lot about Fire Emblem Engage in our hesitancy towards this game, especially on Last of the Nintendogs. I'm sure not much has changed in the last 2 days, but this is a game that you're still not sure about, right?
Yeah, but Jeff, there's a very good chance to start playing it, and all I think about is I like Fire Emblem. Those games are fun, and yeah, this anime bullshit is maybe a bit much for me, whatever. I'll still have fun with the whole turn-based combat of it. And, I'm playing so many, unusually darker, quote-unquote, scary horror games at the moment, and probably will be with Dead Space also, which I'm sure we're getting to. Maybe the power of friendship anime super bright color thing will be a nice palate cleanser. I don't know. I don't want to be I don't want to be the guy who's not excited for Fire Emblem and is poo-pooing it and making it miserable for people, because I like
it's the next The Last of Us. No one's gonna like
the next The Last of Us. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to be a bit more optimistic.
January 24th for Spoken. I just saw a commercial for this on TV for the first time.
So that's nice.
They're marketing it. I guess it was during a hockey game, so it's not like they're spending big money. It's just hockey. But still, it's okay, they're going for it. They got to tell people about it. It's really coming out. I still am not sure what to expect in terms of the overall takeaway from this game, because it has been so hard to pin down. The tone and the character writing, it seems all over the place. I have no idea what to expect from, I guess, the plot. And then the core gaming action, people seem to like. Some people say oh, it's pretty good. Some people think the demo is super boring and not good at all. So it's it's tough to pin this one down. Where are you at with Forspoken?
I'm not expecting much. My big question is, what is Square Enix expecting? Is this going to be another weird case of them having bizarre expectations for a game that, honestly, at this point, they maybe should already be writing off, right?
Well, where was this game made? Isn't this game being made in Japan? So no, they won't have that problem. That always happened with their Western studios, where it's we were expecting this to sell much better. We're not mad. We're disappointed in you, American development team and Canadian development team. I don't think they've ever done that same like song and dance with one of their Japanese studios. And this is Luminous Productions. Is that the name of the studio?
I think this is the
Luminous. Luminous. Yeah.
Is this the Final Fantasy 15 team, or at least like broken off from the Final Fantasy 15?
Sounds right to me. Yes, Luminous. Yes, and it's director Takeshi Aramaki. Yes, that sounds right. So that sounds like the Final Fantasy 15 team. Yeah, it used to be known as Business Division 2, which was them.
This is that team. Yeah, exactly. This is them. So I mean, Final Fantasy 15 is good, and this is like a good amount of time after that. So they had a lot of time. I don't know. Maybe again, this is gonna come out and surprise us. I just don't know. Nothing's really been resonating with what they've been showing so far, and it is coming out soon, man. That is crazy.
Yes, we are talking within like not even 2 weeks, 12 days. This thing's going to be here. We should probably be getting code if you haven't already. I think some people might have already been getting it. So, reviews are going to be out there, and we're going to know more about this very soon. Then 3 days later, Dead Space, the remake, January 27th. That launch trailer came out today, and boy, does it look very good, Mike. It looks real good.
Even back when this game first came out, when I was really not playing many of these kinds of games, I thought this game ruled. I always would take to sci-fi horror a little bit better, and I just thought the whole, the gun limb mechanic was good. I just liked the whole derelict space station / spaceship vibe of it. I thought the whole UI was really just spiffy and cool, and this is looking like a very, well-directioned remake. It seems like they had a vision, they knew what to do, and it was the right call. It's going to work out. And again, I've been shocked how much fun I've been having playing Resident Evil 1 Remake. I've been enjoying that so immensely, and I'm just kind of in the mood for more of these things, and look what's coming. I'm ready to go.
I think Dead Space is going to be... when we get past January and we look back, I think it's going to be the game that everyone is still talking about. It's going to be huge, I think. So Dead Space came out around the same time as Mirror's Edge, and Mirror's Edge has it's a game around that people like a lot. You think there's any chance that they would just be like, well, why don't we just remake Mirror's Edge also? What the heck? Say yes. No, because it's DICE, right? It's not like
DICE doesn't have to make the remake.
No, they don't. They don't have to, but it is. I suppose it could.
It's not like this isn't the original developer of Dead Space. They're gone.
Oh yeah, exactly. Though they're gone, so it's it's easy to have someone else do it. It's like would DICE be like, yeah, well someone else could bring back. I suppose DICE doesn't have a lot of say in it anymore. But I think Mirror's Edge might seem like a distraction for DICE that needs to figure out Battlefield, even if it is happening somewhere else.
Okay, chat is trying to. I don't know what this is about. Some people are like Mirror's Edge is bad. D Jones has a point though that Mirror's Edge almost doesn't need a remake. It looks good, but I mean, I might have said the same thing about Dead Space. In my mind, that game still looked really good. But this looks very good. I wouldn't want a 1-to-1.
Dead Space is Mirror's Edge is not Dead Space in terms of its ability to do numbers, though, right? You think? Probably not. It's Dead Space is going to come out and probably be one of the top sellers. Well, top 10 of the year potentially. Maybe the lower part of the top 10, but at least top 15. It's going to be huge. So.
I just like Mirror's Edge a lot, Jeff.
I know. He's right there. And you said this yourself. Going back and playing Mirror's Edge, upgraded for the Xbox is fantastic. So might just go back and do that.
It's very good with that frame rate boost or whatever. It's amazing on there. Yeah. So I'm gonna play Mirror's Edge again.
January 31st, SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake. That sort of spiritual follow up to the remake of Bikini Bottom.
Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, Battle for Bikini Bottom, yes. So this is coming out I'm kind of another chance to take the temperature on what Embracer Group and THQ Nordic really are. They serious about making games that are of any quality, or does this feel like a cash-in? We'll know pretty soon.
I'm pretty excited for this. I love 3D platformers.
Good.
This team did a good job with that remake of a pretty beloved 3D platformer, certainly in terms of licensed ones. So, and SpongeBob just lends himself pretty well to this genre. I'm really excited to see what that can look like. I kind of hope that this is what Crash 4 was, after we got all those good remakes from that era. I have high hopes for this one.
Then February 10th, we get Hogwarts Legacy. And I mean, to me, at this point, it just comes down to the reviews in terms of whether or not this game performs well or not. If it has like 80s, if it's anywhere in the 80s, it seems like it could be very
Gonna sell well.
It's going to be very big. Yeah. Let's see. Blanc is a good indie
Someone's
game.
mad at you for skipping Season. What's Season?
Oh, Season is you know what? Let's just click on it because I kind of, it's like the kid on a bike thing. I remember this, or is that a girl? I can't remember which one this is, but I'll bring it up right here. And yes, it's that lady on a bike game. Let me click here and we'll watch the trailer real quick.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what kind of.
I left my home to record the world before it ends.
Yes, if I can skip here. Let me turn off the sound at least. Yes, this one looks cool because it's like it seems like a vibey game where you're biking around the world. Yeah, and it was at a Sony event. That's right.
Is this Annapurna?
It looks like it. Let me.
Sure. Probably not my thing. Looks nice though.
Let's get here to the end. See what they say. It is Epic Mega Grants recipient, Scavenger Studio. It's from the Canada Mega Fund or Media Fund, so it's paid for by Canadians.
Well, then I will never play it.
How dare they try to bring their propaganda into our country? Where
America invented bikes.
Where our children try to eat and sleep. Oh man! All right, moving on. Theta Rhythm. Final bar line on February 16th. You ready to go, Mikey?
Go. They released a list of songs from Final Fantasy 14 that are going to be in this bad boy, and I am ready.
That's right. There's probably a lot of Final Fantasy 14 music they could put in this.
Yes, there sure is, Jeff. I mean, Final Fantasy all has good music, and I enjoyed Theater Rhythm when it was on 3DS fine, and I even played the iOS version a bit. But now I'm just like, oh, yes, all the Final Fantasy 14 songs. I am excited.
On February 17th, we get Wild Hearts, which is that Monster Hunter game from Koei Tecmo in partnership with Electronic Arts.
I wonder how not excited they are about Monster Hunter Rise coming to Game Pass this month.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if this game is good, I don't think there's any way it like stands up to the just the monster that is Monster Hunter. But
Orlando Vroom.
I mean, I think this thing could probably still pull out a sneaky win for what it is, and maybe be a surprise hit for EA and Koei Tecmo. But we'll get there. Do you have any interest in playing this, or are you like happy with like checking in on Monster Hunter here and there?
I like the Monster Hunter games. I like the Rise quite a bit. If people are very high on this, Jeff, maybe. But if it's like comes out, it's like an 80, and people are like, yeah, it's like not quite as good as Monster Hunter, but it's like interesting. Then I would just be like, I'll just wait for the next Monster Hunter.
For people in chat asking, where is this website where you could see stuff? This is the Gamer Browser.
The Gamer Browser.
It's the Opera GX, the browser for gamers, and it's this special tab to the left of all your other tabs.
Gamers. How do they not know?
I guess they don't have the Gamer Browser. It says more about them than it does about me.
Pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. That's you shouldn't have admitted that in chat. No, it's all pulling data from, I believe, the Internet Games Database, IGDB. So you could check that. It's not presented as well as it is here in the Gamer Browser, the browser for gamers. Okay, let's see. Tales of Symphonia Remastered February 17th as well. We mentioned this one already. Just go get the original GameCube version. However you need to do that, I'm sure there are ways.
It's a good game. I played that back when it came out on GameCube, back when I wasn't playing a whole lot of JRPGs yet, and liked it a lot.
Beef Hammer says just use the Game & Forward calendar. No! Like a Dragon Ishin is coming February 21st. Where are you at with Yakuza Like a Dragon games, Mike? I think I probably will check this out, but I am like way behind on Like a Dragon overall, so I might just go back to like Yakuza 0.
Right, it's hard because these are like beefy games, and they're good. I was enjoying Like a Dragon, but it's a long game, and it was like when the new consoles came out, so eventually I was just playing other things instead. And it's such a story like heavy game. It's one of those things where you stop playing it for like a year, can I just like jump back in? Probably not. But again, like if I wanted to play one of these, I almost do want to play like Yakuza 0 or Yakuza Kiwami or something. Maybe not this one, but maybe we'll see what people say. A lot of fans for these.
Then February 22nd, I suppose this means this is when PSVR 2 comes out as well. Horizon Call of the Mountain. I can't remember how you like the Horizon games, right?
I like them fine. I didn't finish Forbidden West. What is this actually? I mean, I know it's the VR Horizon thing, but what's the game?
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Is it just like bow and arrow shit?
I know that Jan went to play it, and every time he mentions it, he says it was pretty fun. I bet, yeah, there's definitely bow and arrow stuff in the pictures here. I know these are very tiny on the video
usually
stream.
is kind of fun. It's just also kind of a pain.
Right, and it's like, is it just an experience? Like a story's happening before your eyes? It seems like, no, there's more of a game there, which, cool. But, I was going to say this is going to be compared to Half-Life Alyx, but who playing a PSVR 2 is going to have, like, how many of those people have played Half-Life Alyx? Probably not many. So
some people are mad that, Atomic Hearts has been left off the gamer browser, supposedly February 21st. That one's coming out.
Yeah, some things get missed. The gamer browser is not perfect. We can mention Atomic Hearts. That's the one that you didn't know what it was, and then when I explained, it was like a alternate history thing, but set in Soviet Russia, and it's kind of like a BioShock game. You're like, well, Soviets, that doesn't sound very BioShocky to me, and then everyone got mad at you. Well, it's that game, and I'm okay. People are excited about this one, and I'm like, I can't remember where they showed it that like, it got in people's heads so much that so many people are down for it.
I guess I'm surprised so many people seem high on it. I mean, we'll see. But then again, people love that shit. There was, even when they showed that new BioShock style game from freaking the BioShock guy at the Game Awards, and I was like, that doesn't look very good. A lot of people were very excited anyway.
That's right. A lot of people are very excited about this. All right.
People like BioShock.
Yes, they do. All right, let's check. Oh, hey, February 24th, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I'm ready for this. I don't. Of those games that were made in this engine, right? It was this, Planet Robobot, and Triple Deluxe. I don't think that...
And Star Allies.
And okay, well, maybe Star Allies is like the least among them. But I think Planet Robobot and Triple Deluxe are very highly considered, and this is below those, right?
People do like this one, too. And this one I actually missed because it was a late Wii game, and I think a lot of us kind of just weren't playing our Wii as much at that point. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to go to this. I'm a little... It's doing this weird thing where like the characters are cel shaded, but the rest of the game isn't. It's kind of a weird look. I also, as much as I love Forgotten Land, I don't like that design of King Dedede, and it's using that here also. King Dedede just looks a little weird to me, but still, I think this will be fun. Again, probably much better than Star Allies.
Kerbal Space Program 2 is coming February 24th. That's
really for real now?
It's an early access release, but yes, for real. At least, it might get delayed again. But boy, I'm ready to go back to Kerbal. It looks like a significant upgrade, but we'll see if it's like missing a lot of features when it launches. Atelier Ryza 3.
Oh, this is the one. This is that series that I'm like, oh no, this is what the new Fire Emblem looks like.
Yes, it does actually, very much so. Yeah.
It's like everything is bathed in the most sunlight possible, and it's it's kind of pretty, but also kind of obnoxious.
That comes out the same day as Octopath Traveler, Octopath Traveler 2.
Octopath Traveler 2 is that early in the year?
Yes, February 24th.
Wow.
I think this game is probably going to be the big leap over Octopath Traveler 1 that it needs to be.
I hope so, because Octopath Traveler 1 was a pretty big disappointment for me, really. So I'd be down for it if this came out and was doing better. But I don't know, like. It's been kind of rough with those kind of games. Bravely Default 2 really also did not hit with me at all.
Yep. Let's see. Destiny 2 Lightfall on February 28th. Do you have any chance of going back to Destiny 2 anytime soon?
No, and I know it's like the big expansion, but it's just hard. It just feels so weird every time. I'm like, well, maybe I'll try to get back in. You load it up, and it's just like, I feel like I don't belong, right? It's like if you took like 2 years off of high school and you just went back, right? It's just weird. It's just different in weird ways. I don't know. This is awkward.
All the kids are wearing their backpacks with 2 straps instead of 1, and you look stupid. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, everybody's watching that hot new HBO Max show, Velma.
Yeah, everyone's like really conscious about the environment, but instead of like sort of nihilists the way they were 2 years ago in high school. Yeah,
I can't identify with that.
Yeah. Wulong Fallen Dynasty, March 3rd. We're already into March.
Wild card. I think it's Wild Card.
It's another Koei Tecmo Team Ninja joint. So, a wild card. It's like one of those. It's like, hey, this. Who knows? By the end of March, this could be the biggest thing in the world. Depending on whether or not they can execute, we'll have to see.
Sure that you'll get 20 pieces of loot each time you kill a single enemy.
Yeah, I hope so. No longer March 9th, Skull and Bones. I think we could just skip right over that one. Yep, sorry, Skull and Bones. There's a Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. I think this is like a port of one that never came out outside of Japan.
I ain't never played no Fatal Frame, and I ain't about to start.
Yeah, I'm American proud. Star Wars Jedi Survivor on March
Oh, hell yeah.
17th. I am so stoked.
go.
I cannot wait for this.
Yeah, I mean, most people like Fallen Order, and me and you like Fallen Order more than most. So I think both of us
Right. It was like
are ready to go.
I think it was my game of the year that year, like with the bullet, and that it was also like, but people are like, oh, this is a weak year. Like if that's your game of the year, and I do not feel that way. I'm like, no, that's a strong game, no matter what year it is. And my big concern here is the writer of the first game that did a really, really good job. It's a really well written game, and that's one of the big standouts for it. Is allegedly a shithead. And please don't sue me because I said allegedly 3 times. That's magical defense. And so
You say allegedly 3 times in a mirror. Randy Pitchford shows up.
So they're not working on this one. And that happened with Dying Light, where it's like the same, like the guy was working on Dying Light 2, and then they had to strip all that stuff out. And boy, the story in Dying Light 2 sucks real bad. And I'm hopeful that they were able to get a writing team for this game that can, it doesn't have to match the first one, but just feels competent and comprehensive and does right by those characters.
Yeah, you would hope so.
Yep.
Respawn has had other good writing before. There should be a lot of talented writers who would like to work on a Star Wars story, you would think.
I hope so. Then
Maybe they don't anymore, actually. So I don't know.
maybe they're like, oh man, I don't want to touch that. Those fans are weird. March 17th, Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. Cereza.
Yeah, I sure can't care about this one, Jeff. I got to be honest.
Yeah. Every time I see it, my eyes glaze over.
Yep.
Maybe it'll be good. Resident Evil 4 is coming March 24th. The fans of this kind of game are going to be feasting between Dead Space and this in the first quarter of this year. I think both are going to be probably the 2 biggest games of the first quarter as well. I think Resident Evil 4 is going to be just massive.
Is Resident Evil 6 really still the best-selling game in the franchise?
I
never believed that. I always wondered if they were lying and meant shipped or something.
I mean, it probably is just because the
I don't believe
the
it.
excitement.
I don't believe them. No, there was no excitement. The game reviewed bad. And I know this is anecdotal, but like I know a lot of people who play Resident Evil 5. I know people who play 7. I don't know people who played Resident Evil 6. Not really. I think they just lied. I think they just released a press release to make it look better than it was. And they're like, well, no one's going to check. How will they know how many copies sold?
Right, no, I like this. I like this theory.
It's just like a big lie. It's like
didn't Resident Evil 8, like 7 and 8, like recently though, like actually outsell it? Didn't like?
I would hope so. You would. That's the other thing. There's like to me, it's just no way that like Resident Evil 8 wouldn't just outsell it back when everything else
just
was.
said.
My ultimate point here is that Resident Evil 4 remake should become the new best-selling Resident Evil game.
Oh yes, it's going to be
remake
massive.
It's a remake of maybe the most liked one. It's looking very good. I'm very excited, Jeff. Resident Evil 4 is so good, and they have proven. Like I know Resident Evil 3 remake had kind of its things, but that was sort of an outlier. I'm thinking about Resident Evil 2 remake and how good that is, and just imagining that on the game. I really like Resident Evil 4, and I'm excited.
Crime
now
Boss,
you're showing me this shit.
Yeah, Crime Boss Rock Cave City. Do you remember this one?
I remember.
This is March 28th. It is. It's a $40 game, but you can get it for 20% off right now in the Epic Game Store for $32.
Great.
Stars Michael Madsen as Travis Baker. Isn't that the drummer and Kim Basinger as Casey and Damon Poitier.
Oh, dude, she's flicking a sucker. Wouldn't it be cool if that was my penis?
Danny Trejo as the dragon. This game is just like Danny Glover as Gloves. This game just bought its relevancy, and it's like still kind of. Oh, it would be so sweet if that's how Mike Minotti died. If I just said Danny Glover as Gloves, and he couldn't handle it and died.
Wait. Oh, they didn't actually name Danny Glover's character Gloves.
They named him Gloves.
What the fuck?
Yes, and Vanilla Ice as Helio. So
I just would expect.
Yeah. Michael Rooker's touchdown.
My throat hurts.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that really that almost got you. That was almost the end.
You guys are trying to kill me this podcast. Michael Rooker has touchdown. Jeff, this game is vile.
It really, I'm like that when I see it, I'm like, man, that it worked. They bought their relevancy. They just like, hey, let's hire a bunch of celebrity actors. I mean, quote unquote, and we'll go and be in the Game Awards. We know what Jeff Keighley likes. He likes bringing Michael Madsen up on stage.
He loves celebrities.
And it worked. It has worked, I think. Now, I mean, I guess we'll see if it actually succeeds once it's time to actually sell a video game.
No.
But so far, they've made this marketing strategy seem pretty smart. Okay. All right. April 14th. So the release dates are getting more sparse as we move along. Mega Man. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's more sparse and maybe also more likely to move.
Yes. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, April 14th. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my weird corner of like the internet of retro and Mega Man fans. People seem excited for this, Jeff.
Oh, I think people have been asking for this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's pretty. I'm pretty pumped. Then after this, I think it's like, ooh, they keep putting like almost all the Mega Man stuff on Switch eventually. So it's like, man, maybe we are just gonna get Legends 1 and 2 and Tron Bon on there someday. I'm excited.
Ooh, yeah, they should do that. Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC comes out April 19th. That original Horizon DLC, people seem to really like that. The one that was the frozen tundra stuff in the Rockies.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool.
It's like, that almost feels... Is that really a thing a lot of games do anymore? Like, I know some do, like, obviously Assassin's Creed, but...
I mean, Sony games do expand-alones usually, so it's like, for some reason, Horizon's like, no, we're just going to do big expansions. I guess it worked. I guess it worked for them, so...
Like, Final Fantasy 7 had one. I guess games still do that, but for some reason, even though it still happens, it feels quaint.
Is this real? April 28th, Dead Island 2. No. I think I ask that every time I see this, and people say yes, but I mean, is it real?
Yeah, that's right. It did come back recently, huh?
Let's see. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, it does actually have that release date.
Man, all right, yeah. So Dead Island 2, April 28th. I have this game just feels like it should have came out years ago, and we have already moved on from it. But nope, here it is, Dead Island 2.
Sure don't care.
Yeah, same. Nick Turbo's getting it. And then we jump all the way to May 12th. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There's the big boy. Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me. The big boy is May 26th, Suicide Squad.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Hey, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, obviously the one I'm most looking forward to. I mean, it's like, what else can you say about this game at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing people are saying is, hey, there should be more hype. Where's the hype? Where's, the trailer, Nintendo?
It'll be here.
It'll be here.
Yes.
It'll be here before you know it.
Yep. And once they kick that, I mean, I'm almost as excited for the trailer that they're going to have for this game as I am for the game itself. The trailer
for the last one was so good.
Yeah, I remember the best trailer ever.
Still watch that.
Me too. Yep. But yeah, Suicide Squad on May 26th. I mean, this is Rocksteady. It should be good, right?
God, Jeff, I don't know. I mean, Arkham City, even though I actually like Arkham City more than most, I think people are too hard on it. It was a step down from, when I say Arkham City, I mean Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight was a step down from Arkham City, right? Sometimes trends can go downwards. I don't know. It's just such an unappealing concept to me, again. It's just not, it's like the last thing I would have wanted this team to do. But hey, sometimes it works anyways. Guardians of the Galaxy was a bit like that. Everyone's like, well, how could this be good? And it was. It's hard to imagine it's Gotham Knights, right? It's gotta be better than that.
Yep. It should feel, I mean, I would hope that it feels a lot more comprehensive and cohesive, because Gotham Knights just felt so stuck together last minute, and I'm sure it took them years to finalize that product, but they changed so many times during development, and it felt, you could feel it when you were playing that game.
It's the sports story of AAA games.
Yes, and you hope that a Rocksteady game got a lot more leeway to just be the game it was always supposed to be. Yeah, more steady. Yes, thank you.
Does have Samoa Joe in it as the voice of a shark, so that's something.
I guess that's something. Then we jump to June 2nd for, God, I feel like this game could take over if it is as good as it seems like it's ramping up to be. Street Fighter 6. Yes.
I'm pumped.
Me too.
I'm so excited. It should be, it feels like well, it's hard to say because the Mortal Kombat games have been so successful lately, and then, also Smash Bros. So well, but this could be a very, very big fighting game, man.
Yeah.
It certainly should almost automatically become the best-selling Street Fighter ever.
Yep. Then June 6th, Diablo 4.
Man, June is just nuts, especially for games that are tickling Michael's fancy.
Yes, because then June 22nd, Final Fantasy 16.
Number one most anticipated game. I love Final Fantasy. It's literally just a Final Fantasy 14 team making a single player action RPG. I cannot wait. I am so excited for that.
Now, I did, to make this easier to go through, because there's so many PC games, I did remove the PC tab. So I'll just give you the highlights, and really it's just the Finnish Army Simulator on February 13th, everybody. So there you go.
The what?
Finnish Army Simulator, as in Finland, the country.
No, I got that part. I heard what you said.
The Finnish Army Simulator.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, like Finland.
Like Finland.
Like the country. The Nordic country.
As in, the only way I could finish is when I'm playing the Finnish Army Simulator.
Were you watching Late Night with Conan O'Brien when he was doing his whole thing about Finland for a while there?
I've watched some of it, yes. That was some of his best stuff, for sure.
I thought that was the greatest TV in the world at the time.
Yes, I mean,
he's lost.
He's really good.
If you don't know, the president of Finland at the time was some woman who kind of looked like Conan O'Brien. And also, he's like, wow, my show airs there. It is mildly popular. And he just talked about it for like a year, and then finally just went there and did a whole special. And it was just like this build up, and then it happened, and it was just nothing else mattered more to me at that time in my life.
Mike's lived an adventurous and meaningful life, everybody. Matthew Alert in chat points out that Company of Heroes 3 and Homeworld 3 obviously are big PC games coming.
They are big PC games coming. Hey, you know what else is coming? Didn't they announce that Hitman 3 mode has a release date?
Yes, January 26th. I am so excited. It's the freelancer mode, and I had a lot of fun playing that when they let me test it out early. So, yes, I'm gonna be playing that all year, I hope. So I'm very excited about that. All right, Mikey. Let's what games have you been playing? Do we have any more super chats?
We have a couple more super chats from B Traven here. Love Jeff's idea mentioned earlier to eventually discuss which game coming out is likely to push the medium forward. Agree? Nothing has for a while. I mean, we could say that Elden Ring has, even though it's kind of like, just kind of bringing things together.
Bringing things together and also just like executing at a higher level, and then showing what is possible at a scale that I think most other developers would balk at. But yeah, yes, totally.
And then Puppies on Acid just typed a lot of Fs. And so
that's the sound of a dog farting.
Yes, thank you, Puppies on Acid. I hope you come down from that trip.
Okay, Mike, what have you been playing?
I mean, honestly, a lot of Resident Evil 1. We kind of talked about all because it's like that and the Final Fantasy 14 patch, and enjoying that. But man, again, this Resident Evil 1 remake is something that's been on my pile of shame for a bit. I'm very close to beating it. It's for the Game S Game Club, and I am really enjoying it. It is a bit Metroidvania-y.
Oh, fun.
Know? Yeah, especially kind of in that Batman Arkham Asylum vibe. But it's like it even though like I understand if you wouldn't call it that genre, I probably wouldn't either. But it is like that thing. Like there's this map, and at first it's exciting to explore it, but then it's exciting to be a master of it,
yes,
right? And to kind
absolutely.
of know where it is and where you're going and where you have to go to, and right. And it just still looks so good. Those pre-rendered backgrounds are just awesome. The lighting, the vibe. I don't know. I'm just having a really fun time with this. I can almost just start going and playing through all these Resident Evil games. And again, I haven't played a whole lot of them in my life. I think 4, 5, and 8 are the only ones I beat back in the day, like or whenever. So yeah, been having a lot of fun with that. But I don't know, Jeff, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Mike Tyson's Punch Out on my analog pocket to make sure that the latency there is actually as little as possible. Seems like it's pretty instantaneous. Seems like a really good way to play that. So, been testing that out for Grubberling's Punch Out, which we're going to start next week. On Giant Bomb.
Dan Recca's going to teach him how to speedrun the game.
Right. First, he's going to teach me how to beat Mike Tyson, and then he's going to teach me how to speedrun the game. I still don't think I've ever beaten Mike Tyson, as far as I can remember.
Oh, really? I've done it at some point. I may have been adjusting it. I may have been just using save states.
Sure. Yeah, juicy. And then I was going to go back to High on Life, and I think now I'm just going to delete it.
Maybe not now.
On my Steam Deck. Yeah, real bummer.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that too. I was like, I was going to try that game. And now, there are plenty of other games I could play.
Plenty of other games. Also, real glad that I said no to his PR company about him coming on the Bombcast.
Oh yeah.
And hey, do you want Justin Roiland on the Bombcast? I'm like, guys, I don't think that's a good fit. Let's not have. I don't really want guests like that on the Bombcast, fucking shilling their shit. But boy, oh boy, that's at the very least a bullet dodged. So oof.
Would you let Gloves on the
I would let Gloves on, and he would only be allowed to talk about Rockay City or whatever the hell it's called. Because I want to know everything that he knows about the game, which I'm betting is very, very little.
Very, very little.
I'm finishing up Strider. I've only had a little bit of time to play it here and there, but I'm nearing the end. I think I've probably been playing it for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. No, it's just 4 hours here on Steam. So some of that's going to be times where I just had it on, but. Yeah, I'm playing it. I'm taking your Metroidvania advice of just running past enemies a lot of the time, and now it's going a lot faster. So
yeah, you don't have to kill them.
I always feel like I gotta kill everything. I don't know what that is, Mike.
I get it. I used to be, and then like once I didn't, I was like, oh, this works. This works better.
Yep.
This is fine.
And then I played Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on Steam, which doesn't have Regis Philbin in it, so it's kind of horseshit.
Oh, but there is like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game.
Yeah, just on Steam. You just go buy it. Yeah, it feels just like the game. But
they used to have a thing in Disney World where they just, because it was Disney, they just built the set in Disney World, and you would go and they would just pick people from the audience, and you would literally play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, except you got like points and you got like just different like prizes. The grand prize, I think, was like a Disney cruise or something. So like it was kind of neat if you won and people would win.
That's cool.
You would get like pins and stuff though. It was fun. Speaking of theme parks, they've been doing press previews today for the Super Nintendo World.
Yeah, I figured that'd be happening soon. Yeah, I heard some things about it
coming out.
Ugh.
Yep.
Well, if you do watch the Blight Club today, which you haven't watched, I'm assuming, or else you would have brought this up. Dan issues some opinions about Disney World on there.
No. I know he doesn't like Disney World. Well, he just likes thrills. He just likes
yes, that's
he's a thrill junkie.
but he like does for a minute there talk about how much he hates Epcot, which I know is your favorite thing. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I tell you what, Jeff. If I had to have guessed Dan Reichert's opinion on Epcot, the theme park that's like about like learning about cultures and energy, like science. Yeah. I don't know. I like to think like, if I took him, he can have fun, but it's also miserable, like trying to like convince people to like, right. So,
yeah,
like,
totally.
Hey, if you don't like it, that's fine, Dan.
He seemed up for liking Super Mario World though, because it's like I like Nintendo, I don't like Disney. Of course.
Right, because it's about the thing, so yes. I get that. I mean, yeah, but it worked in reverse for me. Like, really, I liked all the Disney park stuff, and that's why I started like really watching more Disney movies and all that shit.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, Mike, that does it though. I think we should wrap up this show and get out of here. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, why don't you tell people where they could find you on the internet?
Oh, we got a few more super chats actually.
Oh, hit those real quick. How many? Should I stop the music?
Well, see, Puppies on Acid said. Oh, we got that one. But then El Grug said, with a question mark. Then Puppies on Acid responded with, Matthew Ellert says, am I remembering correctly? Did Xbox announce 1 vs. 100 happening again? If so, is that coming out this year? That was a rumor started by Jeff.
Yes, it's not something they've ever announced. They were working on it. It was in development. The person who was in charge of that left the company, and I think it was under another shithead circumstance. I can't remember. I should be careful when I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And then I haven't heard an update since then. And so it's like, that thing could be in limbo and maybe it never will come out. I still think it probably will though.
Come out before or after Advance Wars?
Before Advance Wars.
Okay. You can play the music now.
All right. I didn't know we were done. Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
Twitch, Twitter at Tolkoto. Check out the 90s Disney podcast at 90sdisney.com. Am I going to get to be on Game S Mornings this Monday, or are you going to fake being sick again just so you don't have to talk to me?
I will fake being sick, and I will also, for real, just have a holiday off. Eat shit.
Oh, that's right. Shit, you're just avoiding me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see, I was going to think...
All right, then I should get to be on Voicemail Dump Truck or something next week. I don't know.
All right, I'll be like, hey, yeah, Mike can do it, so I can have another day off. Let's do it.
You're not going to do it with me. Oh, I don't want to do it without you. No, I'll do it.
I was gonna like look at the calendar. The 22nd, I think I have someone else, or the 23rd, excuse me. I think I also already have someone scheduled for that day too, that Monday. So might be some time. Might be some time, Mike. We'll see.
Jesus Christ.
I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter, Jeff Grubb on Twitch. Now that I'm feeling a little bit better, although I mean, obviously you can hear it, my voice, it's still not quite fully back, but I feel a lot better. I want to start streaming some more again, so look out for that. Although it's like
somebody said you need to stream Resident Evil 6, and I want to so bad.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just make a plan to do that. That'd be great. Let's try to get it done before definitely before Resident Evil 4, but maybe we could do it like soon. Okay, I'll get it downloaded, get it ready to go. That would be fun. I never played it. I played Resident Evil 5, but I never played the
6. Demo. And it was not good.
Yeah,
it was like late 360 game running very badly.
I bet Resident Evil 6 co-op today is pretty fun, actually.
I bet it will be kind of fun. I bet and the things about that are stupid. Well, it has like 3 campaigns, and like the Chris campaign is just like a stupid action movie. I think the Leon one's supposed to be scarier, and then there's like a weird one that I don't know much about, and we'll see.
We'll find out for ourselves, everybody. Thanks for listening.
And the giraffe has a blowjob.
Yes, the giraffe is giving a blowjob. Oh, he's getting a blowjob, right?
Right. Yes, he's getting
from what?
one. A human.
A zebra? A human?
A human? No, I think it's a human, or something. Maybe a zombie.
It's a games journalist.
A games journalist.
Bye, everybody. See you next time.
It's Greg Miller.
Clancy.
Yikes. You know, shit that only happens in video games, right?
Mr. Caffeine.
I know, we're crazy at Ubisoft. We're crazy. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Although, I wonder what this game would have looked like had we released it long ago. There you go.
We need to react to this one.
Although, I wonder how this might have looked 20 years ago.
Stop.
There you go. And this absolutely epic fail right here. Yikes.